Blowout deals and no payments for a year. If you've never been here, we're easy to find. We're your Heartland dealer, and we're right next to Lake Manawa in Council Bluffs. Or visit leachcamper.com.
Leach Camper Sales, home of the original Happy Camper.
And don't forget, coffee's always on.
Marvin Windows have a well-earned reputation for long-lasting value and beauty. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is Omaha's first and only authorized Marvin Windows replacement contractor. Make the best investment for your home. Marvin Windows and Carp's Complete Exteriors.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Is the cost of medication stopping you from getting ED treatment? At forhims.com/radio, you can get access to trusted, effective ED treatments for 95% off the typical price. Through HIMS, a licensed medical provider can prescribe the generic versions of Viagra, Cialis, and other name brand ED treatments at up to 95% off. Trusted ED treatments for a fraction of the price. Simple, affordable, totally online access to ED treatment with no insurance required starts at forhims.com/radio. No more doctor's offices, no more copays, and no more trips to the pharmacy. If prescribed, your order ships directly to you for free in discreet packaging. ED treatment that's 95% less expensive so you can get back to feeling 100% like yourself. Start your free visit today at forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free visit. forhims.com/radio.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is...
Crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
We have a great crossover topic, but first, Josh, I have to ask, because I think you watch Jeopardy more than anyone in this room.
I do.
Why don't they just settle on Ken Jennings as the host? The
What's
pace.
up? You don't like Mayim?
When Mayim is on, the pace and that pause kills me.
She is very robotic.
Yeah. Why can't they just have Ken Jennings be the permanent host?
I believe, and I could be wrong on this, that they settled on Ken Jennings and then everyone said, "Oh, so you're hiring a white guy."
Sexist, racist Jeopardy.
So is she? I haven't been really watching. Is she more Amy Farrah Fowler with her actions, or is she more Blossom?
Amy Farrah Fowler.
What does that mean? What are those things?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, Big Bang Theory.
We watched it together, remember?
Oh, I know.
You've never? Did you ever?
Kaylee Coco.
Ever watch Blossom?
I've definitely stumbled on a couple episodes, but
of Blossom.
So I knew that she was in that show.
She's kind of zany and quirky.
She was
Blossom.
The nerdy.
Yeah,
because in real,
she was nerdy in the Big Bang Theory.
Well, she's kind of the awkward, energetic but nerdy.
She has like a master's in biology.
Oh yeah, she's she's extremely smart.
Yeah, that's not a bit for Big Bang Theory. Like that's her.
Yeah,
but I just don't.
Her jokes and her quips are not.
No,
they seem scripted.
Yeah, I mean that's tough to replace Alex Trebek.
Yep.
But she just like I was watching it last night, and she just the pauses, like before she tells a contestant that they're wrong, drives me nuts. And there's no pace to the show when she's hosting.
Ken is like burning through it, just boom, 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 boom.
Can they give her a pitch clock? Pace of play. Let's get the pace of play.
Jeopardy pitch.
Ken's funny too. Ken,
yes,
he's funny. He's legit funny.
I would love to give a crack at hosting that because I saw they did a behind the scenes with Alex Trebek probably 5 years ago, and what he does in his preparation, like all of the questions and the answers and all that, it was fascinating.
He was like, I have to know the answer.
Yeah.
I can't just have it on a card.
I definitely love.
It's funny given SNL.
I definitely love being the guy with all the answers. So that would be a
guy reads from a card.
and when you know that a contestant is wrong, and you get to tell them that they're wrong.
So I heard I didn't see any videos of this, but so they just got done doing a round of Celebrity Jeopardy. Is this right? Or
yeah, Celebrity Jeopardy wrapped up a couple weeks ago.
Somebody told me
primetime tournament
that or maybe this was one of the ones on Hulu or Netflix now or something like that. But Jalen Rose was on there, and apparently he was horrendous.
Well, did you see him try to golf?
I believe so. I believe this is accurate. Yeah.
To see his drive when he tried to golf, that wasn't good either.
No,
I didn't know he tried to play golf either.
Yeah, it was at I think it was the Rocket Mortgage? Yeah, the one in Detroit, the Rocket Mortgage one, and So
Brought to you by Rocket Mortgage.
I think it was Jack Nicklaus who had to come out and give him a swing tip, and he finally got out of the tee box with it. Like he was just missing the ball left and right. It was
nice,
quite painful.
Nice.
So are we open to Aaron Rodgers if he would decide not to play to maybe give this Jeopardy thing a go again? Because I didn't understand the hype with it. I watched him like, okay.
No, we are not open
He's
to
fine.
this.
He's fine, but I feel like there's better.
Ken is pretty perfect, if you ask me.
He is.
A daily watcher of Jeopardy. Now, I understand. If you want to get some casuals in there, maybe you let Aaron Rodgers.
Well, how about
in
any
there.
of the other former, big time champions? How about how about James?
Big Game James?
Big Game James? Lego G?
They tried that.
Yeah, he
hosted? I didn't know.
It's just the pace of the show wasn't like it should.
Just because you win doesn't mean you're going to be a good host.
His
Just
personality
like
is a
doesn't mean you're gonna be a
little
good coach.
I would be.
He's not chatty enough.
I would be pretty mean. I'd be like, "No, idiot."
The Simon Cowell of.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I think we need more of that in TV shows.
So
now.
basically,
all
you're
of
saying
those shows
you
are
would
too
not
nice.
you would not have the Steve Harvey personality on Jeopardy.
Oh,
Would
Well-
Steve Harvey hosting? Would that be?
I think that. I mean, it's a different show, but
Yeah.
it
There's a version of that show that would work, but it's not Jeopardy.
Yeah.
His patience wears thin
Yeah.
too.
it's
I
not
don't know.
Trebek Jeopardy. So yeah, Ken Jennings is like the closest we have to Trebek.
Now, how do we either get you on the show or in the audience?
See, I've always wondered
Ooh.
this too. Josh, do you know anything about this?
I mean, you can take the test at any time. See, I'm not good at the Bible.
What
I'm
a-
not good at
Oh yeah,
history.
ancient history.
Yeah.
Why don't they do like they have all these different versions of Jeopardy, Celebrity Jeopardy? Why don't they have Idiot Jeopardy?
Yeah. Average Joe Jeopardy.
Like if you,
Yeah,
were,
I would
could be
crush that.
I could be an Idiot Jeopardy,
I would play Idiot Jeopardy.
I think I'd be okay at it.
and that's where you bring in Simon Cowell.
I do really well on Celebrity Jeopardy because it's
They bring it down.
questions for adults.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as like the teen challenge or the
Yeah,
kids challenge. And it's a little more pop culture geared because they're actors and we're playing for charity, so you want high scores.
You think you would perform well in Celebrity Jeopardy?
I do. Yes.
Why don't we get something like that started in this town to raise some money?
Omaha Jeopardy. That's actually not a bad
Omaha
idea,
Jeopardy.
Gary.
Omaha Jeopardy night.
and you can get your crack at hosting.
Yeah,
I
don't-
would host.
You could host.
I don't want any questions about the history of Omaha
Why not?
because who cares?
I just want to be in the
Who
background. Can I
cares?
be in the background and
our
be a
city.
judge? I
What
want
do
to
you
be
mean,
a
who
judge in
cares
the
about the
background.
history of Omaha?
Yeah, Josh.
What? It's not a strong suit of mine. I know Dundee was bombed during World War II.
It's a bomb. There's a bomb shelter there.
No, it was bombed during World War II.
By who?
It wasn't bombed.
The Japanese.
It wasn't bombed. There wasn't a bombing during World
Wait a
War
minute.
II.
The Japanese bombed Dundee, Dundee neighborhood
Yeah,
across around the corner from here.
Go to the ice cream shop. There's a plaque on the wall.
It's a shelter. It's for the shelter. I
Yeah.
believe.
There was an actual shelter. That
No.
makes sense.
No, there was a
There was a bombing.
I'm going
It was
to
a
type
bombing.
in Dundee bombing, World War II.
Okay.
Make sure you say Dundee, Omaha, Nebraska.
Like, what if we asked questions about Jobbers Canyon? It was a historic district downtown.
A very historical landmark there.
Like, what if we asked about ConAgra?
In the sky over 50th and Underwood,
Yeah,
a
it's one
Japanese
category.
balloon bomb exploded on April 18th, 1945.
In the
Okay,
closing
a
months
ba-
of World War
it was
II,
a balloon?
Japanese
A balloon.
bomb.
A balloon made
exploded.
it sound like there was a fighter jet.
I'm sorry, are we not all scared of spy balloons right now? Same thing happened in World War II.
I thought maybe I didn't know if you were referring to one of them got off course when they were going in Hawaii.
They ran an
and somehow
experiment.
came through Omaha.
They were filled with hydrogen carrying from 11 to 33 pounds and were experimental Japanese military
Mhm.
offensive. Exploded in Omaha, April 18th, 1945.
Exploded.
How did it get here? How
Yeah.
come we didn't notice
I
it?
think it was random.
Okay.
It got
and it
lost.
just so happened to take place during the World War II years.
It was supposed to go to the Pacific, and instead it went to the Midwest.
That's what I was wondering. It was did it what do they call them, zeros? Did a zero get off course and somehow wind up in Omaha?
Let me read you this part. Few people actually knew that a bomb had gone off. Some saw a flash of light, others heard noises that they thought were fireworks. But by the next morning, nearly everyone in the neighborhood knew something had happened.
So there were no casualties.
No.
All right.
And just remembered by a plaque on a wall of an ice cream shop.
The plaque commemorating the incident notes, quote,
That could be the winning question.
the
You know
incendiary
that.
device.
That'd be great.
That could
flared
carry
brightly
you
in the
to champion of Omaha.
Is that
Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy right there?
The incendiary device flared brightly in the night, but caused no damage.
It does have a Final Jeopardy feel to it.
It does. I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
Do you think when
How much you willing to wager
Warren
on
Buffett
that?
and Sir Paul McCarthy were
I bet they do.
Oh, they were definitely talking.
Oh, they went to
McCartney,
E-Creamery.
Excuse
Yeah.
me, McCartney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
We're
talking
sitting
about
outside of E-Creamery.
Mhm.
They were talking about it.
it. Mhm.
I bet Warren,
This is the spot.
being a historian, knows.
I would
I'm sure.
imagine so.
Mhm.
Beyond Nebraska, Japanese bombs, balloon bombs, were dropped in 26 other states and Mexico.
Do they all have a plaque to commemorate?
Maybe, maybe not.
All right, let's get on this Omaha Jeopardy. Now
Yeah, we
on
gotta
to
work
the
on this.
question I thought of.
Oh yeah.
So you're right, Josh. I apologize.
Made it sound like there was a
Where-
plane that
Where
came through,
Connor
though.
was right, where Connor was wrong.
Mhm.
Oh, wrong show.
Colin.
Sorry. Okay, so Tominaga's dad's going to be there again tonight.
Hell yeah,
Maybe
he
in the
is.
student section.
No,
6'11".
Not going to the student section.
Why wouldn't he go to the student section?
Because nobody would be able to see over him.
Why just sit in the back row? And it just screw the people that pay a lot of money to sit behind the student section.
Now, that would trigger.
But they do
something.
have a couple of buffer rows there because of the whole student stand. So then you got mom, who is what, 4'7". You got son that's 6'2". I was just showing you a picture of the guy at Oral Roberts who is 7'5".
Too tall.
The ideal height. And this is coming from four guys who, on a good day with the afro, we're all 6'7".
A couple qualifiers, Gary. I got some questions for you. What am I? Am I just me? Am I just a normal
You're
guy?
just you.
All right. My answer is 6'4".
Can you elaborate? Why?
I just don't want to be any taller than that because
okay.
then you got to start ducking going into doorways and stuff like that. And I'm taller than most people.
Did you say 6'4"? I'm sorry.
I said 6'4".
Okay, yeah, that's the number I had in my head as well.
Like I'd be there 6'3".
6'3" is great
Yeah.
too.
So I'm right about 6'3". If I had to be taller, 6'5", but I wouldn't want to go be tall. I don't want to be 6'6" or taller.
No, you don't want to go up that high.
Yeah, because then it becomes really difficult to find golf clubs.
Now,
that
if
fit.
I had a little athletic ability and wanted to push along my basketball career a little further,
Right, and about 4 inches.
yeah, I'd bump it up.
Oh,
a
I'd
bit.
love to be a 6'7" lefty. If you're going to bless me with, a thunderbolt of an arm,
Oh, here we
then
go.
I'm draftable.
At what point do people start making cracks about the weather and nicknaming you Stretch?
Hey.
I think 6'5".
Okay,
My
I want to
buddy
be
is
under
6'5".
that.
I have a buddy who's 6'5", and he gets that occasionally. Mostly because he hangs around a bunch of guys who are like my size.
Well, you're tall. Thanks. Yeah, I think once you're at 6'6", you're getting those jokes.
My wife is 6 feet and she gets a lot of, did you play volleyball in high
Uh-huh.
school? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, no.
Just tall.
And that's always funny you say that because I feel like a lot of females probably get that. Like they just assume that in high school you probably played basketball and volleyball because of your height.
Uh-huh.
And isn't it acceptable for those individuals to say, no, I actually was just me.
No, just tall.
I didn't do it.
Of course it is.
Just a little taller.
It's very acceptable.
Like, wait, you didn't play basketball or volleyball? You didn't even try?
There was a woman in the airport the other day that I would say is probably 6'4", 6'5". I admit, I immediately thought basketball
Yeah.
recruit or volleyball recruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she looked like she was in high school.
I know. I always go that way. Like if I see a female that is taller than like 6'1", I assume, depending on the age, either they are currently a student athlete of one of those sports or they did participate in that at some point in their life.
To be fair, I assume that with men too. Like if you're walking around the airport, you're 6'5", is like, you played something at some point.
Yeah, if you're a certain height, like I would say, like I would, 6'6"-ish. Yeah. I'd be
Now,
like,
if I see a 7-foot guy, I mean, there's
Well, okay.
there's like an 85% chance that guy
So
played basketball.
think about Tominaga. His son can go back to his home country and he kind of blends in. He's still tall at 6'2".
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you are Japanese and you're 6'11", you stand out like a sore thumb.
That's right.
I mean, you tower.
Yep.
Look at Yao Ming.
Yeah.
When he would go back, you'd be like, are you in your home country? Because he would tower over people. I'm sure that Tominaga's dad does the same thing. Then he comes here, and that's the thing. Remember, we were having this discussion last week about high school 7-footers. We don't in Nebraska produce tall boys.
No, we do though. We've had this conversation before because I think generally Midwesterners are taller. I don't think they're on the. I don't think we have many.
They're not on the 7 feet.
We don't
tall.
have many 7-footers, but I think like general population, we're probably a taller than.
I know.
A lot
I
of other
remember you
places
looked
in the
this up.
country.
I still have a hard time believing that because I think we're all. It seems like all the people in Nebraska are around the about 5'10" to 6'1".
No, everybody's like 6'2" here.
No.
Everybody's 6'2".
Where are you hanging
Well,
out?
I mean, I am.
I'm 5'9" or 10 or I don't know. I feel short. I feel short.
What's
here.
your license say? Because we all lie about our
I don't
height.
have it in my pocket right now.
I
probably lied. And
I
said
rounded
5'10".
up. I said 6'3" because I'm 6'2 3/4.
Yeah, I may not even be 5'9".
I once
don't know.
I once put 6 foot, and then someone goes, "Well, if you get pulled over, they're going to see if you're 6 foot." And I was like,
No,
"Oh,
they're
I don't
not.
want that to happen."
No, they're not.
But I believed him back then.
You can also say whatever you want for your weight too.
And yeah, people aren't going to do their real weight.
Well, yeah, because I mean, when by
I
the
don't
time you
even
have to
know.
present, they'd be like, "Well, I lost or I gained."
Do you guys
weight."
know how much you weigh?
I do.
I do not.
I have. I probably couldn't get there within like 15 pounds.
Really?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have a general idea what I used to weigh, what I weigh now, which thank God is a little bit less, just by my jean size.
That's always a good indicator too.
Inseam has always stayed the same.
When you're going down a
Waist
jean size,
dropped.
or if you're going up a jean
Yeah.
size,
Nice. Very good.
it'll probably get you. It'll get you within 10 to 15 pounds of accuracy, I believe.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably could get close, but I don't know.
Ed emails me.
Hi,
And he
Ed.
said, "Hi Ed, your discussion yesterday about traffic and driving. Were any of you at 36th and L at 2:00 this morning?"
No.
No,
No, I was sleeping.
I was close though.
There were 40 cattle that were on the loose.
Oh no.
Oh,
36 and L
Yes.
over by the stockyards.
Yeah, I
real
wonder-
life
hey,
Yellowstone.
hey,
no.
those are smart cows.
Yeah,
They're like, I'm getting out.
Yep.
yeah, because we know where I
And they
am
try to
right
break
now.
out at 2 a.m. That's again. Don't say
Yeah, don't be
cows are dumb.
sneaky trying to drive us to the slaughterhouse in the dark of night. We know what you're up against.
Yeah.
And the ringleader like broke through and out go the cattle.
But you don't
on!
think the cows
Follow
they,
me.
They
Follow
know.
me to freedom.
Oh, the cows got to know.
They know where they're going.
Yeah.
They've seen all their friends go,
But don't you
and
think
they
like,
don't come back.
there's at least one of them that says, "I refuse for that to be my fate. I refuse." And
Yeah, I
then
would say there's a couple wild
and
cards.
then
in the
he
bunch.
lead or she leads an exodus.
They usually don't get many. It's usually just one that sort of,
The other one might be like,
It's like I'm not
could
sure.
be a good idea. Nah, that's a lot of work.
Now you got to be careful in that neighborhood. Like people will take it into their own hands, and all of a sudden start eliminating the cattle.
Yeah.
But how would you like to be the?
Well, I mean, they're getting eliminated anyway.
How would you like to be the 911 operator that takes the phone call at 2 a.m?
Stop saying 911.
Yeah, you did that yesterday too. 9/11.
911.
911. Thank you. Where Gary was wrong. Of somebody going, yeah, I believe there are a horde of cattle that are running outside of my house. Where do you live? 36th and L. Are you sober? Yes. Can you send the police? And then a cop have to go, really? Are we doing this?
Exactly. Because sometimes I've had that happen to me before where I've called and they're like, really? And
Does this need immediate attention?
Exactly. All right.
You're positive?
Are we really going to dispatch some people?
You heard fireworks?
Yeah, you're going to have to.
This was maybe 6-7 years ago on the day that the Kentucky Derby was going on. There was a horse that was loose on the interstate and it was running.
What did the dispatcher say? Like, very funny.
In Omaha?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah, there was a horse that got loose and it was running on I-80.
Well, I remember when a deer ran across Dodge last year. That was a fun crossover. I don't think anybody else saw it, but I was just like, did you guys see that deer run across Dodge? And then it was gone.
No, we saw it when it hit that house. It leaped in front of the house and ran down the street.
But then there was the infamous day. This is probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago now. Remember the llama chase?
Yes, I do.
This was not in Omaha, but the whole world was glued to this llama chase.
It was the same day the dress went viral.
Correct. That was the same day as the
blue and gold.
Blue gold
blue
dress.
Or is it gold?
It was blue.
What a social
I
media
thought it was blue.
day.
I thought it was blue as well.
It was a top 5 day on Twitter.
It really was. This is just a couple days ago, probably.
We had a traffic incident. This would have been maybe about 10 years ago. That I think it was like processed pigs or something. It was in a. I'm assuming it was just in a semi, and
he got out.
Well, I can't remember, the back door of it opened or something happened where it spilled all over. There were pig guts on the interstate. So in one of the traffic reports, be like, continue to avoid I-80 eastbound as they continue to try to clean up the pig guts.
Sure.
Oh,
And apparently,
Imagine-
and then I remember Scanner. Well, I don't even know if it was Scanner back then, but it might have been Mean Streets. They had pictures of it, and it
When that was
was
the thing?
it was like it might have been like a good quarter of a mile.
That's
it was a lot.
Always the funniest thing to me when those big semi trucks, they hit the deer and they just splat everywhere. Like if you catch it head on, and
it disintegrates.
If you're one of the semi trucks, you just keep going.
Yeah.
Like you don't pull over
No.
to make you don't have to look at anything at that point.
No.
The deer's in a million pieces.
There's nothing to really clean
I'd
up.
like to be. I would
Is
be
it
following
okay?
one of those trailers, and the back door opens up, and all of a sudden, like
a cadaver. comes
pigs
up?
start falling out.
Yeah.
Like live pigs.
We have a lot of trust in our truckers to keep those doors locked
Yeah.
shut.
I can't remember if something happened where the trailer like got unhitched and fell to its side, and that's what happened, or if it just somehow came open. But yeah, there was a trail of pig guts, and they said it was very slick.
Just happened to be on the day I was going to eat our barbecue.
Might have delayed that a little bit. Yeah, it was. Some
People
things
bring
have
their
happened.
grills and sauce over.
It doesn't smell as bad as I
Some
thought it would.
people are waiting for yeah, an armored truck to let money out. Others are waiting for
pig guts.
Yeah,
guts.
everybody has their priorities, I guess.
Yeah, some like money, some like food.
I mean, you've seen those armored trucks, and you've thought to yourself, "Wonder what would happen
Who
if
would
I-"
do it?
Yeah,
Or is somebody looking at it with a plan? I've seen the town.
Oh yeah,
I know what happens in Charlestown.
Hey, in a final wrap
Southie.
of yesterday, the video that we were discussing on air that was tweeted out by Omaha Scanner.
Yes,
Rest in peace, Mean Streets.
that's right.
Which was
I mean, not that much peace.
That was a tough breakup.
no, that was a really ugly breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The sane people left the crazy guy.
So true. And a lot of those sane people listen to 1620.
I don't know the backstory of how that went. I just knew that one day it was not Mean Streets anymore, and it was
I know one of the guys
the
involved.
Scanner.
Well,
I mean, are you interested in recounting this story?
One of the guys went off on a tirade
On the account?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And everybody else who, because it's not one person.
Yeah, they would take shifts.
Yeah. And the other guys said, no, thank you. Not for us. We'll go do the exact same thing. But, somewhere nice.
So somewhere that guy exists and has a platform.
Yeah, because he was gonna start his own, and then he was gonna reveal what happened. And
Yeah,
he's still around, but now people that left Mean Streets, some started Omaha Scanner. Yeah, there's actually quite a few that
that's the same
text the
account,
show.
right? That's this. I didn't have to follow a second.
No, it's different.
Oh,
No,
it
it's
is?
different.
No, yeah. Well, they got out quickly.
Mean Streets is still an account, hasn't tweeted since May of 19.
Got to see some of these tweets.
Mhm.
So these were pre-COVID takes that got him canceled.
No.
It's just easier to get canceled now.
Yeah,
is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But the video that was shared yesterday has gone national.
Yeah, I've seen this.
But people are more enamored, not necessarily with the act, but the spurs
Oh, it's
on the guy's boots.
The Spurs and the way he kind of stomps after him.
Not the fact that on the one of the busiest areas of Omaha on an expressway that a guy was darting in and out of traffic and basically almost tried to cause
Yeah.
a major accident.
Came to a complete
It
stop.
was that he got out, and did he have spurs on his boots?
And he tried to kick the car.
But it's a fair question. What's that guy got going on? I want to know what makes him tick. Obviously, slow drivers or slowish drivers, but also, what do you do?
Maybe
what's your thought process when you put on those boots?
He's a Tombstone character.
Might be. He might be.
He likes to dress as his favorite Tombstone character. Which, by the way, speaking of Val Kilmer, one of his best performances all time.
Absolutely.
But to actually get out and run at the car, that's a wild move, man.
And then kick it. Yeah.
Attempt to kick it. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the Spurs.
With
If
the
he would have
Spurs.
made contact with one of the Spurs, do you think it pops a tire?
Did he have a 6-shooter? Did we ever see a holster? I mean, he might as well just really lean into it.
Did he
got the
try and
Spurs.
do the Kurt Russell? Where he swipes the Spurs across the face of the...
If the guy came out of the car, he might have tried to.
It really is amazing. I think about this often when I'm driving, like how much trust we have in the people around us to like, have you ever thought driving down the road, like I could easily just do one little thing and I could probably, it would obviously hurt me, but it would mess up a lot of people. Like, have you ever thought that?
No.
Oh, I have.
I try not to.
Like if I just moved a little bit right here, it would be a bad deal for a lot of people. I think that all the time. I never will. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to get in an accident.
You don't have like visions or anything, right?
No,
Okay.
nothing like
These
that.
are just
Wait a
random
minute.
thoughts. Just random thoughts.
You guys don't think about this?
No.
Not really. No.
No
What do you
little
guys-
guys on your shoulder telling you to burn things.
What do you guys think about when you're driving then?
Hey, Connor.
Where I'm going, what I'm listening
Just
to,
turn that steering wheel just a little bit to the left. See what happens.
that I'm performing safe sell.
You think about not using your cell phone?
Do any of you guys use the automated reply that I'm driving right now?
No.
Okay. I don't even know how it works anymore.
No.
I believe I have that function on my phone.
I
but-
even like doing, you could do the thing on these new cars now where it'll read you the text over your
Yes.
car. I even like doing that.
Oh, it's
Especially when you have like
I
somebody
don't
in the
even-
car with you and
Yeah,
it's
you
something
don't-
about them
exactly.
or something you don't want them to know.
But yeah, if you have like the CarPlay, it'll pop up and say who the message is from. You could have them read it if you
I
want.
had a buddy of mine who was apparently exchanging some dirty texts between he and his girlfriend at the time.
Hell yeah.
And we were coming back
Hell
from
yeah.
golfing, and he went to get gas, and all of a sudden he just jumped right back in the car. We're like, what? He goes, who just texted me? I'm like, I don't know. Because he had it in the read mode, and he had to make sure it wasn't her, because apparently they were in the middle of going back and forth on some
Yikes.
text.
Yikes.
It wasn't. I wanted to know what was said, and then so we told him, don't worry, we will respond in kind. We had a lot of different responses that we had canned, but unfortunately the text never came through.
I got an email from Eric on tall people.
Hi, Eric.
Says, I think 6'2" to 6'4" is actually the worst height as far as
What?
clothes fitting properly.
Oh,
If you do a large, it's too short. If you try to
Yeah.
get an XL for the height, it's baggy.
yeah.
If you get a tall shirt, they're almost too tall for the 6'2", 6'4" range. You really have to start looking at the material for shrinkage in the dryer. There's a lot to think about.
He's right about the arm length. Yeah, that has been sometimes a challenge when trying to find dress shirts.
What if you're not skinny, though? I mean, Eric is clearly describing a 6'3" skinny guy.
and a trip to the big and tall store.
Yeah, that's why they have it.
Just gain a couple pounds, get an XL.
I'm 6 foot.
Just put on some winter weight.
I buy a double X on my shirts because I like the length, and oftentimes the neck hole is just too big.
Yep.
It's always the neck.
The
hole.
arm length, I'm telling
Brian
you.
says my 14-year-old son is 6'1".
Yeah, kids are tall now.
Looks average, but he said he looks average on the basketball court when playing 8th grade hoops.
I don't know where these kids
Wow.
are coming from. When I was playing like, little kid basketball, middle school, JV, whatever, nobody was over 6 foot. Like, it's like, you're 6'2", you got to play the 5 today.
Yeah.
One of the great joys in my life is watching basketball with my wife, and I specifically remember her looking at Dwayne Wade and going, "Oh, he's so tiny." I go, "Honey, he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. You look at all those. I mean, that's the way it is with all these people in the NBA.
See, I think if you're average,
Yeah, my wife did not believe
like-
that Casey
like-
was 6'2".
I think
He's
Connor-
probably not.
She said he's got to be like 5'8".
He's not that short, but I don't think he's probably 6'2".
no.
Mr. Tominaga.
Yeah.
No, he is not.
I think he's probably.
foot?
I think he's probably
So-
about 6.
A clean 6 foot.
Well, that's why when he eventually goes to the NBA, like goes to the combine or something, and they actually do the real height.
It's gonna be funny.
I mean, remember when the big thing about Doug was
Yeah.
when he went to the combine
Yeah.
and his height was a little bit different.
Mhm.
So I think, like, I want to be average height because traveling with a basketball team, if we go somewhere, the amount of people and everybody is 6 foot or taller on Omaha's roster, everybody stares. Like, who would you stare at more, a tall person or a 4'7"?
Tall person.
Well,
Well,
are you talking about a short guy
well-
in the group of tall
No,
guys?
no, just a short guy.
So like
We're in the airport, okay?
and it's
And
a grown
a
adult.
6'6" guy is walking by,
Not tall enough. Don't care.
and then a 5'3" guy walks by.
That's
Who's
short.
going to draw more of your attention?
5'3" guy.
I'm looking at the short guy.
I'm looking at the short guy too.
And I know what you're going to say. Oh, I wonder if he's in the horse racing industry.
Well, what's his weight? Is he like a
I don't
$110?
think-
Is he a $110?
No, but that's what you
I don't think
do.
a lot of guys that are 5'3" have like big boilers.
Okay, so maybe you do this.
There could be.
I'm 5'3", 210. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to a cardiologist.
You might have a festively plump little guy.
Maybe you don't run yourself through scenarios while you're driving of getting in huge pile-up accidents. But I think one thing that
No, I don't. Who does that?
I think one thing
Connor.
that we all do
Hmm?
is we look at a person and we say, we just try and figure out their life. What does that person?
Yeah.
What does that person
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
What's
No, it's fair. That's
what's
fair.
that guy do for a living?
That's fair. Anytime we go like
Where's his wife?
when you're in a public setting and someone's like in your vicinity and
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to figure him out.
yep, you do. Figure out
You
the
get some clues. What are they talking about?
figure out the
What are they wearing?
relationship. You're like, oh yeah.
That's why an airport is one of the best people
Yeah.
watching spots in America.
I
It
get
is.
this. I get this guy who've been trying. My back neighbor. I've been trying to figure him out ever since I moved in. Can't do it. He's not. He's. I mean, he'll be there for a long stretch of time, smoking cigarettes on his porch, and then he will be gone for multiple months at a time. I will not. I haven't seen him since October. And I saw somebody else at his house today taking out his dogs, and the guy was taking a picture of the dogs, and he was going to, probably send it to the
that
guy.
is interesting.
I haven't seen this guy in probably since October
Yeah.
now. But I don't know what he does. I've talked to him a couple times, but he's rarely around.
He's locked up.
I don't know. He might just travel long stretches for work.
Have you ever done and I don't know how many like 2020 specials or docuseries you guys watch, but there's always the one about someone that did something bad and then they interview the neighbors and they're like, yeah, we didn't see this coming at all.
Yeah.
Do you ever
Yeah.
kind of scan your neighborhood and be like, I wonder who that would be? Where we could be like, yeah, we did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I found myself, there's a few that I kind of like exchange like pleasantries with because we have one neighbors that are actually like good friends. Our other neighbors we don't talk to as much, but we're pleasant with them. But then there's people throughout the neighborhood that you just kind of, hey, how are you? And maybe they think that about me. Maybe they're like, well, I'm that guy.
Like he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he was always very friendly.
We always saw each other on our walks.
Had the wife and
That's
kid.
a popular thing.
Turns out he
in
killed a bunch of people.
Wow,
TV news.
just
in this
never
town.
saw that.
If
Yeah.
something happens at a house, let's go interview the neighbor.
Yeah, you got to get the neighbors.
Oh my gosh, I never saw it coming. Or the one that goes, oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
he was sketchy.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see something like, oh, I'm surprised that's all he did.
There was always some weird
Yeah.
stuff going on over
It
there.
doesn't surprise me one bit. We need more of that commentary. It's always like, this is just rocked our neighborhood.
Local TV news stories like that about weird stuff happening. I mean, they never get there. There's like a good, probably 10 to 15 of them every single year where they go viral and you see them.
And it always talks about, and it just rocked this quiet neighborhood.
Yeah.
This quiet, how many quiet neighborhoods are there? Like it just rocked this quiet neighborhood.
My favorite one was the guy in Philadelphia who somebody's apartment was burning and was on fire, and he had to catch children that they were throwing out the window.
I know where you're going.
And he goes, yeah, we were throwing kids out the window. I was catching them though, unlike Aguilar.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Yes,
Eagles fan.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yes.
just an Eagles,
Poor Nelson.
an Eagles shot right in there,
Do you think? I mean, what was Nelson's reaction to that one?
unlike
Man.
Aguilar.
Classic Philly guy.
This is what you're thinking when you're trying to rescue kids from a burning building.
That's the best.
Is that Nelson Aguilar couldn't
See,
catch?
that's the kind of journalism that we need.
Yes.
Also, when you are hollering questions at someone walking out of the courthouse, and most of them just keep on walking.
Yeah.
Hey, did you kill your family?
Sir, can you comment, please?
Why did you do it?
Like you just went to trial and you're asking that question. They're going to stop and go, well, yes.
Yes.
I'm ready to talk
you know-
on this perp
you know
walk.
what?
I will
I'm-
break it to you
I'm
exclusively.
glad you asked because I have a story to tell.
Time for me to do a press conference.
Has that ever happened? It's all it takes is just for that to happen once, and then you'll always do it. So maybe somewhere during the last 100 years, someone actually did answer that question, and that's why we continue.
Well,
to
that's
do
the way they always portray it in movies.
Yeah.
Like the guy actually stops by and says, I'm innocent.
It's always
Yeah.
at the top of the courthouse steps.
Stops, turns, proclaims, and then there you go.
Yeah, we're way too nice here with our TV journalists.
Yeah, we need to start shouting.
One of them, you see the
Why did
Channel
you
6
kill
took
him?
a swipe at the potholes,
Oh, no.
Oh yeah,
What-
because her car got
Her
eaten
car
up by
got,
a
destroyed.
yeah. So she
by-
did a hit piece.
Good. Need more of those.
who is it directed at?
I'll give you one choice.
The mayor?
Uh-oh.
Easy
Guys,
target.
she's gonna call us. I swear. Stop it.
Did that reporter get called then?
Probably.
Well, they're not going to get any more scoops.
She's an easy target.
They won't be able to ride on the streetcar.
I sort of feel bad for Jean sometimes. She gets blamed for everything.
She is the mayor of Omaha.
I mean, but things happen in every city. There's potholes in every city.
Yeah, but their mayors are like in the city that they run.
Yeah, but you can't do anything about it. Nobody's ever going to be happy.
Just waiting for the phone.
And like if the mayor came out and said, I will fix all the potholes, they'd probably win election, but they would never fix all the potholes. You can't fix the potholes. That's just a thing that happens.
What if you saw the mayor of your town, if you had a pothole problem like we do here in Omaha, what if you saw the mayor of the city actually like getting down and dirty with the city workers and like trying to fill it, like maybe more of a ceremonial filling of a pothole, but still very symbolic gesture.
When they take out the brass shovels and they start scooping
but
dirt from a garden pile.
in this case, she's tamping it down. She's tamping it down. You want solutions with your pothole? There you go.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's how you win them over.
I've yet to see a mayor. I mean, it's good.
Put on a hard hat, get a safety vest on, give her a shovel.
Somebody's running for election. Why not just say, there will not be a pothole problem in this city any longer.
You reach out to the city crew and be like, hey, can I accompany you?
The buck stops here.
One of the greatest and most busy Seinfeld episodes was the pothole episode.
Holy cow.
Well, that's the toothbrush in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's Kramer adopts a highway and George loses his keys.
Is that the Phil Rizzuto giveaway?
There was so much going on in that
squeeze
episode.
His head, do they? They don't have to squeeze his head to talk, do they? I heard during doubleheaders. Holy cow.
Josh got a poll question up. Can you ever really fix the potholes? I don't know. I just don't.
I don't think you can without just
I
redoing
just
the road.
think it's easier said than done. We like to be angry at municipalities. That's who we are as Americans.
All right, one more, and then you guys got to do your show. This is from Chris about his 14-year-old. So Brian has a 14-year-old that's 6'1". Chris has a 14-year-old that's 6'1", 210, and he's only the third tallest kid on his 8th grade team.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with these kids?
6'1", 210? Did he get a D1 offer yet?
He's a pretty good athlete.
So this is in what, freshman year? Freshman year,
8th grade, 8th grade freshman year, yeah.
Sheesh.
I probably wasn't. Actually, I was probably not much shorter than I am right now.
Is he playing? Is he playing on the offensive line at 6'1", 210 as an 8th grader? Because I would think you would be.
I think this son is a baseball player as well.
Well,
baseball and basketball.
Do they have in like middle school football? Do they still have stripers, like where you can't carry the football if you weigh over a certain amount?
Oh, I don't.
Really?
I don't
that
know.
Was a thing.
That was a thing for me.
Really?
Well, so they separated for me was lightweight, heavyweight.
Yeah, that's what we had. I was at Anderson Middle School. We had lightweight, heavyweight.
But the heavyweights can't carry the ball.
No, you would separate. We'd have a lightweight game and a heavyweight.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, lightweights would be one. Yeah.
So like I played for the Gladiators, that league, whatever, they're all around town. And they would have, if you were over a certain amount of weight, certain pounds, you had a stripe on your helmet.
Really?
And you could not run the football.
No kidding.
You could not be handed or passed the football.
Really?
And that's how, everybody was in the same league, but that was the difference.
I don't think that's the same anymore.
So you play defense and O-line.
You play defense and O-line.
Okay.
Yep.
For some reason, I've watched some 7th and 8th grade football, and I don't think they have. Well, they might,
but it was always a game. Like there was this kid who was pretty athletic, and he might have been, he was really big for his size. And he could have been like our fullback.
Maybe they do, but I haven't noticed like a stripe.
That was never a thing when I was playing Little League football.
Somebody reach out to me about that.
Lightweight, heavyweight was the lightweights would play first and the heavyweights would play second.
And at KWAA, now Millard United, it was Pee Wee football, then midget football. But then in middle school, I didn't play in middle school. I still was playing for KWAA, but it was lightweight, heavyweight.
Yeah, I think Gladiators were in that same deal, and it was stripers.
That's weird.
Stripers.
Hey.
One more before we let you go.
So would you have shame if you had a stripe on your helmet?
Well,
because I did feel a little bit of shame that I never got a chance to play lightweight football.
A little bit. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't a striper.
Okay, so you
didn't try and cut weight to become a striper or a non-striper?
I would have to.
You had to bulk?
Or add weight?
You try to bulk?
I would have to add weight, yeah. And I would have to add a lot of weight, I think. But
you were taking down chicken fried steak?
It's not like I was getting the ball that much, let's be honest. But, I was allowed to have the ball.
Oh, okay.
But you could still be tackled by the heavyweight guys.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just can't tackle them because that's unfair. Them barreling down on you.
You can do
Wow,
whatever
that's
you want to them.
interesting.
They just can't have the ball.
I've never heard of such a thing. That's very interesting.
LSU is expected to hire Bob Diaco as an analyst.
Hey,
welcome back, Bob.
So he's no longer with Mike Riley, and is he still going by Robert?
Yeah, he's no longer with the Generals. It appears
as an analyst.
Under
Brian Kelly.
Hopefully, he still wears his suits.
He's part of the family.
No, it's the sweat. It's the hoodie
and the knit tie
tucked into the sweat.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was like he was in Rocky. It was really good.
All right, gentlemen, have a great afternoon.
You as well.
I'm probably going to drive home and not think about causing a major accident. And
Just
if
let me know.
if I get in one, I'm coming after you.
When you get back, just give me a little running log of what you thought on the way home. Just some things that ran through your head, because I know you got some crazy. You're kind of crazy.
I don't have a long commute.
Oh, that's true. Not much time.
No, just get in and get out.
You don't let yourself dive in that much. All right, it's Gary and Nick. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
They were eating poop left and right.
Do you guys not remember this? They're eating poop. Eagles fan eats horse poop. February 6th, 2018. That was one person. It's a new thing, probably. Cowboy fan derangement syndrome. Come back in full force. No.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Seasonal temperatures on the way Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a stray shower or a few sprinkles during the day, but most will stay dry. Highs in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it, and nobody has been in it to win it at Creighton more than Jim Flannery. The Blue Jay women's head basketball coach earned his 400th victory on February 27th, the first basketball coach in school history to win 400 games on the Hilltop. Flannery is the definition of a Blue Jay lifer. Former player, grad assistant for Bruce Rasmussen, top assistant to Connie Yori, winner of 400 games at CU, and soon headed for a program record 6th NCAA tournament. Congratulations, Flan.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
What do you mean he went searching for fresher powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Toward each other to snowplow, honey, not away.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, Braley, no, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone Deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Let's face it. Credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and includes 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It is the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you in front of a big night tonight for Nebraska basketball. A lot of we'll touch on some district basketball, high school wise, around the area last night.
People were jacked last night.
Well, the Lincolnites are really feeling themselves right now. We're gonna have 3 Lincoln teams in the state tournament. We might have a 4th.
Basketball mecca in the state of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Things are shifting, and there's no OPS teams. What's going on? What's going on in Omaha?
Nebraska beat Creighton. People forget.
Wait, what? Like in December?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Lincoln versus Omaha?
Yeah.
I do think we should probably mention that for the people once a day, just so they don't yell at us. People do forget that.
People do forget. Yeah.
Nebraska did, in fact, beat Creighton. As I put my little subtitle on there today, net rankings maker. So if you want to direct your hatred about the net rankings to me, I am.
So you're the guy that has undervalued Nebraska.
Trust me.
And overrated Ohio State.
My formula, it is too complicated and convoluted for your little pea brains to understand.
Mm-hmm. Good start to the show.
You will never ever get it. So even if I tried to explain it to you, you wouldn't be able to understand it. You don't have a high enough IQ for it. So the formula will stay confidential.
Rubes.
Yep. That's exactly right. And that's the way we're rolling. All right. So welcome to the show. Today, on a Tuesday, we'll talk Creighton basketball with Joel Lorenzi. They have a little bit of a smoother, less important week this week. That is, I guess, Creighton, if they win both games.
It's one of those classic, no credit if you win.
Yeah.
All the blame if you lose.
Yeah. But it comes at a good time. It's at the end of the season. Yeah. You could probably get some guys off their feet a little bit and get ready for the grind that is going to be the next 2 weeks, or potentially, hopefully, more for Creighton basketball. So we'll talk to Joel in the noon hour as we normally do. Creighton fans will get to say goodbye to Patrick Ewing tomorrow. Goodbye, Patrick.
Goodbye. Thanks for the memories.
Who will take the Georgetown job is the next fun conversation of the offseason.
Yeah, I'm okay with that conversation. Sure.
Rick Pitino.
Respect to Ed Cooley.
Mike Bray.
Oh.
And then who takes the Notre Dame job? It's Fran McCaffrey. It's some movement on the horizon. So that's a conversation. That's the only conversation surrounding Georgetown basketball right now, where I think everybody has probably accepted that we could just get to say goodbye to Patrick. Bye, Patrick, tomorrow at the Chai, and then whatever their weekend game is. I am not going to look it up. I certainly could.
You're not going to look up Georgetown's final game?
Would you like me to look up Georgetown's final game?
No, I'm kind of doing it now.
This is their final game. This is it. They don't play this weekend. Great.
Wow. How'd they work that out?
So they get to go to their next game is they go to the Big East tournament and they play Creighton tomorrow. That'll be Patrick Ewing's last regular season game. Congratulations on a great career.
Wow.
To Patrick.
His last game, not in the Garden, will be here in Omaha, Nebraska.
I mean, his last game will be in the Garden.
Yes.
But not his last regular season
Yeah.
game. And also on the show today, Mr. Jake Eisenberg of the Kansas City Royals radio network.
That's right. I had to eliminate the Omaha Storm Chasers from his
graphic.
his graphics, his lower third.
We will talk Royals. We won't get. I mean, you'll have to stop me if we get too deep into the Royals conversation because we can do that forever. But pitch clock. Everybody's freaking out about the pitch clock. Jake, was with Omaha last year. He knows as good as everybody. We talked about it a lot on this show last year. It's not the worst thing in the world. Everybody,
Let's ask people who don't watch baseball how to fix baseball. Yes, you need more people watching baseball.
So this is a question, and we'll talk about this with Jake too. And it's sort of a big picture thing. Like, I, as a baseball fan, appreciate that the game will be shorter. Like, I think that'll be good. It's a tough sport to watch. Just bar none, it's a tough sport to watch. It's a tough sport to get engaged in. It's 162 games. It is a sport that you watch. You have a favorite major league team. It is a sport that you watch passively. You will check in on your team a couple nights a week if you're really committed to it. You're probably not sitting down and watching them every single night. And maybe even less than that. Even if you have a favorite MLB team that you care about, when the playoffs come around, of course you'll pay attention a lot more. But that's baseball. That is at the heart of baseball. It is a sport that you watch passively.
225 pitches a night, really only like 6 of them matter.
So, with that being said, I think the other side of this pitch clock conversation is revolved around the idea of how are you going to get people to watch baseball? And I guess I'm just interested in the premise of the question. Is this going to attract more people to baseball? That I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
I honestly would say probably not. Is it good for the sport? Yeah, it's good for the watchers of the sport. And I'm glad that baseball is doing something, unlike some of the other sports, where they're enacting rules that are making it so it's more attractive to other people that aren't actually fans of the sport. In baseball, they know who their crowd is. They know who their audience is. And the narrative is out there that baseball is dying. Baseball's not dying. It's just difficult to watch. But it's always been difficult to watch. So is this going to attract new viewers? I would balk, to use a baseball term. I would balk at that assumption. I just don't think it is. Is it good for the sport? Yeah. But we'll talk about that with Jake when he joins the show in about a half hour here. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Also tomorrow, just quick while we're on guests here. So we love spring training because we can reach out. Josh has been reaching out to former local baseball players that went to Nebraska or Creighton who are in spring camp right now, or Omahans. And we were lucky enough to get a call back on one Omahan / former Husker, Jake Myers, who's going to join the show tomorrow. The Astros have a spring training game at noon. He'll be joining the show at 11:30. We love spring training. They're just like, yeah, do an interview.
Feels like there might be a lot of people.
Maybe it's his off day. I don't know.
Whose spots are secure that.
Well, Jake is actually in a position battle. That's kind of the funny thing about it with McCormick, who had a great postseason last year. Like, Jake is actually in a Myers. He's in a decent heated position battle this spring. But they schedule in off days, and or maybe he'll just put down the phone and walk off to the field tomorrow morning when we have him on.
You have a cell phone out in the field during warmups.
Seriously, I mean, we should ask. Where are you? What are you doing? Can you just walk out onto the field and then hold your phone up to some fans?
Are you on the bullpen phone?
Okay, yeah, we'll get that tomorrow. So Jake Myers will join the show tomorrow. and that'll be a bunch of fun. Former Husker, Omaha West Side grad. Plenty to come on the show today as well. We'll talk a little bit about the Big Ten schedule still not being out. There was a note dropped in last night or this morning by Scott Docterman of The Athletic, who's basically just talks to Gary Barta and gets all this information. People forget that the Big Ten doesn't really have a commissioner right now. So tough for any really, really big decisions to happen. And I think I would imagine even tougher for, decisions like this to be ratified, confirmed, like, hey, let's push this to the finish line. So we'll talk a little bit about that during the show today. Of course, Nebraska basketball tonight. Like I said, some district basketball. Congrats to Jim Flannery on win number 400 last night. How about that? I mean, the Creighton women are rolling right now, feeling good again. They go into the Big East tournament. Mohegan Madness.
Oh, nice.
As the 3 seed in the Big East behind UConn and Villanova. So they're gearing up for another March run. And so we'll talk about Flan a little bit later on in the show. And I want to start, we have 2 dumpster fires today that I'd like to talk about. First of all, it's a dumpster fire that you've heard of before. That would be Dan Snyder. There was a big story dropped on ESPN today. None of it is shocking, but basically the idea is Dan Snyder was using his football franchise as his personal piggy bank. Pretty funny stuff. I have a couple details in there that I would like to share because they're just funny. But I do want to start, maybe if we could do this once a week or I don't know if it's a once a day thing, Josh, but basically dumpster fire of the week.
I love this idea.
Dumpster fire of the week, dumpster fire of the day. But we grab one thing in sports, and that is a flaming dumpster fire. And we talk about it just for a couple minutes on the show. Our first dumpster fire of the week, maybe this is a new Tuesday thing, Josh, is Northwestern baseball. You seen what happened to Northwestern baseball?
I haven't. I know nothing.
Well, why don't we just do dumpster fire?
Baseball.
Dumpster fire of the day is right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
Dumpster fire
So
of the day.
Oh, very good.
On the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
So Northwestern is 0-6 right now, first of all.
Okay.
They've lost their first 6 games of the year by a combined score of 75-22. Oh. But the fun doesn't stop there. Yesterday, there was a tweet from Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, who passed along the following information. Sources, sitting at 0-6 overall, things are not well for Northwestern baseball. Pitching coach John Strauss, hitting coach and recruiting coordinator Dusty Napoleon, and director of ops Chris Beacom have all stepped away from the program, leaving Northwestern with only new head coach, first-year head coach Jim Foster, and volunteer assistant Adrian Santiago. So to recap, Northwestern baseball is 0-6. They've lost their first 6 games by a combined score of 75-22, and most of their coaching staff has left the team
right away.
And this is 6 games into a new head coach, who said in his introductory press conference, and I quote, "It's hard to become good, and Northwestern baseball hasn't been good. So we're going to make it good real quick."
Oh.
Maybe a longer road for Coach Foster than he initially intended. He had been at West Point over the last couple of years too. Maybe there's something in the leadership style there. I genuinely have no idea what's going on with Northwestern baseball. But that's our dumpster fire of the week. And that flame. And then we could give it like a flame rating.
Oh, yeah.
Out of 5 flames to stick with your movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is like, this is probably 4 out of 5 flames. Right?
6 games in, the wheels have fallen off.
For a new coach.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 feels right.
Okay. Now, I didn't have terribly high expectations for Northwestern baseball this year, but you lose your first 6 games by a combined score of 75-22, and your entire coaching staff leaves at, once again, 6 games into a new era of Northwestern baseball. That's a pretty good dumpster fire. It's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
What would happen if what would be the equivalent of that start for Matt Rule? Have we already passed that point? Like, what if Matt Rule started 0-3 and they lost those first 2 games and then they lost another one when they came back home? One of those, I don't know who they play in their home opener. Is it like Northern Illinois or something like that?
Probably.
Or Louisiana Tech, something like that. So they come back home and they lose that game too, and then a whole bunch of assistant coaches start quitting. Are we worried at that point? Or do we just say, they didn't want to be here anyway. They didn't want to be a part of this. No, I think that's panic time.
It'd be like your first game getting canceled and then just losing.
Bunch. I forgot, Josh. That basically already happened.
The assistants didn't leave right out of the gate, but
they gradually did.
There were signs in hindsight.
They actually started 0-6.
Yeah.
But then they were good after that. And then they were bad again.
No.
There's your dumpster fire of the week. Okay, we're off and running here. We'll talk with Jake Eisenberg coming up here in just a little bit, and Joel Lorenzi at noon. The lineup powered by the Roof Freeze, John Higgins, Weather Guard. Also, get in touch with the show at 402-951-1620. I have been alerted to the fact that the phones are back, folks.
They are back.
Okay. I wasn't told by anybody in this building about that. I just had to listen to the morning show, see if they got any calls. And they did.
I heard some rumblings in the afternoon yesterday.
Okay. So you can call in officially at 402-951-1620. You can also text that number, watch at 1620thezone.com. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer, the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed as well, or email the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor at 1620thezone.com. We will come back and start things off next right here on 1620 The Zone. But first, we got a new concert just announced. Who is it, Josh? The Doobie Brothers. The Doobie Brothers are going on tour. It's their 50th anniversary tour.
50th anniversary tour.
They're coming to the Tyson Center in Sioux City on Saturday, June 17th.
Have some chicken nuggets. I can't. I'm sorry.
Tickets are on sale on Friday, but Unsportsmanlike Conduct has tickets all week, and you can get tickets before anybody else can. Exclusivity is what you get here on 1620 The Zone. You could all get the details as well on our website, 1620thezone.com.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
What do you mean he went searching for fresher powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Toward each other to snowplow, honey, not away.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, Braley, no, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time to thank spring at Leach Camper Sales in Council Bluffs. We're kicking off a blowout sale on select 2022 model RVs with no payments for a year with approved credit. Visit leachcamper.com. And don't forget, the coffee's always on.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health.
If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Howdy, folks. Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Zzz, blip. Did you know there's some fun open water fishing to be had this time of year? There is. In our cold water, northern and western Nebraska trout streams, wonderful spring-fed waters support mainly rainbow and brown trout, and you could even work on your Trout Slam Challenge in those. Get more details at outdoornebraska.org. That's outdoornebraska.org. Turning to the state parks, there's nature to experience. The playgrounds, campgrounds, and trails are all open, and be sure to check out the naturalist programs at state parks as well. For spring wild turkey hunting this year here in Nebraska, hunters take note, there are some major changes because of lower bird numbers. See us at the Game and Parks Commission for more information. That'll wrap it up for now. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Here's a good potential measuring system for our dumpster fire of the week as well. This comes from our YouTube stream. 4 out of 5 flaming trash bags.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that better than just flames in general?
Well, the whole entity is a dumpster fire.
Right.
So you need things to indicate how big the dumpster fire is.
Gotcha.
And that would be trash bags in the dumpster.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take that.
Yeah, we're gonna steal that.
This is a new thing. Thank you, HSNG Dragon, who has a picture of Danny Trejo in his profile picture, which I really enjoy. We love YouTube, by the way. Fantastic. All right, Jake Eisenberg coming up at the bottom of the hour. Oh, I got my first piece of I wouldn't call it hate mail. My first piece of mail here after appointing myself as the director of net rankings. It's from Robert on the Equitable Bank inbox. The email's Connor@1620thezone.com with the subject line, "The net is horrible." Connor, he writes, it's from Robert, just one local example of why the net is broken, misleading, and a faulty metric to use. The first net ranking comes out on December 4th. Creighton, in the middle of their 6-game losing streak, enters the net at number 33. Consecutive losses to Nebraska, BYU, and Marquette drop Creighton to number 51 in the net. Creighton plays one game, a blowout of a bad Butler team, and the next day they jump back to number 34 in the net. No damage done. The net is so simplistic, doesn't weight winning like it should, and basically comes down to this mantra: beat bad teams by big margins. It is a very poor way to measure the quality of a team and their resume. I hope something better comes along. Bob. Thank you, Bob.
What say you, net rankings maker?
All right, I will level with Bob, because I was actually gonna this is something I want to talk about on the show. We'll just give me a couple minutes, Eric. I want to get to your phone call too. Is that a football question, Josh, or is that a?
Yes, and
Okay.
yeah.
Just give me a couple minutes, Eric. Hang on. So this is a huge week in Nebraska basketball. But I do have a question about the net. I know the net has been a topic of conversation this week. And as the director of net rankings, here is one change I would like to propose to the board. I do think the net rankings should be tweaked a hair so it gives a little bit more weight into how you're playing at the end of the season. It seems to me, I think, they talk about this on the selection shows and stuff like that. Like, it has gotten so formulaic, and we look at each individual game as its own data point, right? They all are weighted exactly equally, but that's not how college basketball works. That's not how momentum works. That's not how conference standings work. Like, that's, there are games that are more important. Now, there are games that are more important by the value of each team's net ranking. But I would like to see something in there, and I don't know what the mathematical equation for this is. I'm just the director. I'm just the ideas guy. Where what you're doing as you head into the most important part of the year should be weighted a little bit more heavily. I will definitely level with Nebraska fans on that one, because the opposite point that Bob made, the opposite of Creighton, is basically what Nebraska has done this year. They don't start so well. They're not really sure exactly who they are yet. They've gone through some injuries. Nebraska's played basically the equivalent of 3 different seasons right now, but in their 3rd season, they're playing really, really well. And I do think that's important, because oftentimes that's what matters when you get into tournament time. Who's the hottest, and matchups and all that stuff. Now, Nebraska hasn't gone on this run where they've beat a whole bunch of world beaters. It's not like they're beating opponents that everybody views highly in that world right now, but they're mostly top. I mean, they have their last 3 wins before Minnesota were against top 100 teams, really top 70, 75 teams. Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Maryland, one of which was on the road, which is certainly important. But people have noticed, and people have complained about it this week. Well, over the last couple of weeks, Nebraska's net rankings don't move. They have all these wins now, and they've won 5 out of 6, and like, you should be feeling really good about things, but they're not able to move. And a lot of that is because what they have done before that. They started out the conference season. I mean, they were 3-9 in the conference at one point. At the end of January, they were getting blown out in these games. That has weight in this. So while I can give you a pragmatic, this is what the net ranking is, and this is how it's weighted right now. And the fact of the matter is, Nebraska's got blown out too many times to be higher in the net rankings. I could also tell you, I wouldn't mind a world where you tweak that a little bit. I wouldn't mind a world where you put a little bit, and like I said, I don't know exactly how you do it, but putting a little bit more emphasis on what you do in the last couple weeks of the regular season. Now, you have to make it so, conferences don't game schedules and stuff like that. Like,
are you trying to eliminate the pre-conference tournaments?
Not eliminate, but there's, we've been able to figure out the math equation where we weight some things heavier than others. And
a win over Queens College should be worth 12,000 points.
Hey, that's Queens University.
Damn it.
Queens University.
Knew I was going to mess that up.
I do think it's an important part of the conversation, don't you? Like I said, oftentimes what happens near the NCAA tournament or near conference tournaments, we pick out these teams and we say, I don't want to play them.
Yeah.
I don't want to play them. Like Villanova, Villanova's a good example of this in the Big East.
Definitely.
Now, I still don't know if I can make the case that their entire resume means they're an NCAA tournament team, because, they still played the games that they played, and they were still wearing Villanova jerseys, but nobody wants to play them in their right mind right now. Like, nobody wants to play that team. right now they're probably playing like a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. They are really, really good. But they had the first half of their season where they weren't healthy, and now they're in the position where they straight up have to win the conference tournament in order to get into the NCAA tournament. They could still do that, by the way, because the way they're playing right now, they may be
could be a bid stealer.
They may be the top 2-3 team, one of the top 2-3 teams in the Big East. That's a real deal. But you see what I'm saying? Like that's 2 different seasons, and I do think what you are right now matters.
Didn't that used to be a metric that they looked at when seeding the tournament is like the last couple months of the season?
Yeah, well, they do that, and then the opposite is, say there's a team who has kicked off a lot, they've checked a lot of bullet points on their resume throughout the season, but then there's an injury that comes along.
They do, yeah.
They take that into effect.
The team that's on the court today, or
Right.
however they phrase it.
Right. So maybe just weighted a little bit heavier because it's so. And look, Nebraska is what, 15-14 right now. Like that, that's still not an NCAA tournament resume, but it's so hard to get out of the hole in the net because of what you did earlier in the season. Like I said, I'm not trying to, I don't want to discount that part of the season either. It's just, I think what you're doing right now should really, really matter. I'm not making the case that Nebraska should be an NCAA tournament team. They still have a lot of work to do so. But nobody wants to play Nebraska right now, I don't think. Some of that depends on what they do this week. Certainly nobody wants to play Villanova, if you can make that sort of equivalent over in the Big East. So it's, as the net rankings director, that is something I will bring to the board. I just make sure we get something like that in the equation.
We appreciate that. A lot of times people in power generally fight to stay in power without listening to the will of the people.
I genuinely want what's best for the game, Josh. That's why I'm here.
love that.
Let's take a phone call here. Hey, let's take a phone call.
Look at that.
How about this? It is Eric on the line. Eric, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Great.
I'm good. So I have a question I'm hoping you can educate me on when it comes to roster stuff. And it isn't just football. It could be any sport in college. So Nebraska has 100 guys right now, let's say, that are scholarship, and you have to get it to 85.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, like they've talked about in the Big Ten, and I don't know if this actually ever happened or not, but having these 4-year scholarships that are guaranteed. And then you have what I've read in some different articles is that, let's say I've got 2 or 3 guys or some number of guys over 85. I'm going to give them NIL money that's going to cover their expenses. And I guess that means they would be like walk-ons, but you're actually kind of covering their expenses. So my question is 2 things. One, is the 4-year scholarship, was that ever actually a real thing where a kid on any team can say, no, listen, my scholarship's guaranteed for 4 years. I'm not going anywhere. The other part is with NIL, and I'm not naive enough to think these people don't talk to each other, but if an athletic department or a football program or basketball isn't really supposed to be talking to the NIL people, that's supposed to be a separate thing.
Yeah.
How do you coordinate that? Because, okay, I'm Rule, and I say, okay, I've got these 2 or 3 guys I want to designate as my NILs kind of covering the scholarship expenses. How do they kind of coordinate that with the NIL people without really coordinating it?
Yeah. All right.
Does that all make sense?
For sure. Yeah. I think I can get close to answering it. Appreciate the call, Eric. So the coach can't be involved in the NIL conversations. I mean, the coach decides who's on scholarship, who's not on scholarship. And then this is the easiest way I can answer that question, I guess. And then it's the NIL, collective's responsibility to say, okay, you're here. Let's get you a deal and let's help help you cover some of those expenses, right? And it's not like you get the worst deal in the world if you're a quote unquote walk on, right? So, I mean that one's pretty easy, I think. Now, I don't know that coaches think about it that way to get further down the line on that question, Eric. Like, I don't know that coaches actually, like, I don't think you would sell to a player. Maybe this happens across the country a little bit. I don't think you would sell to a player, hey, come here. We don't have a scholarship for you. You'll be a walk-on, but don't worry. We'll cover you in NIL expenses. Like, I just don't, you'll find a scholarship for some of the guys that you're trying to attract into your program. So I don't, it's available it's like a break glass if needed situation. And then the part about the scholarships, and the amount. Okay. So Josh, can you recall the first question? The amount of scholarships, got to get to 85 up to 100. I knew I was going to forget them. I knew I should have wrote it down. Damn it. I'm trying to get to the end of his question. I can't recall it.
It was something about like, does the 4-year
the 4-year scholarship
exists?
Thank you. The 4-year scholarship. Yeah. Well, as far as I know, they, some places still have something like that in place, but you can work it so you're still getting a scholarship to the university. You're just not on the team, so it doesn't count against your 85. Right? So I don't know I don't know where the actual scholarships come from, where the extra athletic scholarship comes from. Just worked into the athletic department budget or something like that, whatever it might be. But as far as I know, like Nebraska's had many players do that over the years. Not that they're necessarily processing them, but there's a lot of people who go out and they just decide they don't want to play football anymore because they're injured or because it wasn't for them. They can stay in school, stay on scholarship, and not count against the 85 because they're not on the team anymore. A lot of the time. Now there's different waivers and different rules that you might be able to fit one puzzle piece into and not another one. But generally, I think that sort of answers the question. It's the scholarship math, though, is it's probably weirder than it's ever been. That's for sure. And frankly, Nebraska's not been in a situation where for a long time where they've had this many guys on their roster, and you actually had to worry about sort of the count. And I know that has been a thing in the past. Like we've looked at it and said, "Oh man, how are they going to get down to 85?" Trust me, they will. They will. Some of it will be natural attrition. Some of it they'll have to maybe work it a little bit. They'll have to play around with it. But the coach can't be, quote unquote, can't be involved in that. And the players can describe their NIL situation to the NIL collective if that's what, needs to be done. But once again, if you're one of the best guys, there's going to be a scholarship for you. Like you got to keep your best guys on scholarship. You can't be telling some of your best guys, "Hey, we're pulling your scholarship, but you could get it covered with $100,000 in NIL money." Like, I just don't think that's the way it's working right now in college football. I could be wrong. But I don't think that's exactly how it's going. Let's see here. Texter Travis says, the school has to honor the 4-year scholarship, but a coach can pretty much say to a player, "You won't have a spot on the roster." But that is mostly a rule / loophole for new coaching staffs. Yes, there's a whole new set of rules for new coaching staffs too, which is odd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, Eric. Appreciate it. There's a lot of that's a gray area to me. Hopefully that answers some of your question, but a thoughtful one. We'll come back. Jake Eisenberg, former Omaha Storm Chasers play-by-play man, now with the Kansas City Royals. What is the chatter about the pitch clock in Phoenix as spring training ramps up? And we'll probably talk some Royals with them next here on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a pitch or a run scored. 2023 season tickets include in-state rivals Creighton and Nebraska. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS. That's 402-554-MAVS.
I know a lot of you really want the State Farm personal price plan, but what's with the oversharing? Like this message from Sarah.
Hi, Jake from State Farm. I eat hard-boiled eggs, like shell and all. The crunch is exquisite.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm personal price plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Victory Marine's Boat Show is this weekend at Christensen Field in Fremont. Thousands of square feet of Lund fishing boats, Mercury motors, Nautique ski boats, Avalon pontoons, free admission. More information at victorymarinellc.com. Victory Marine, selling fun since '71.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Omaha Sports Academy is celebrating 15 years of youth basketball in the Metro, and spring and summer programming is coming. Omaha Sports Academy will help your athlete reach their maximum potential and take their game to the next level with focus on cutting-edge trends and high-level skill development. OSA athletes have fun learning the game the right way in top-notch facilities with OSA professional staff. Get all the details at omahasportsacademy.com. OSA Crusaders, earn your right.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, and on 1620thezone.com. We welcome in an old friend, Jake Eisenberg, of the Kansas City Royals Radio Network. Jake, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Connor. Wow, it's still a little bit weird to hear, honestly, but it sounds good, and I'm enjoying it. That's for sure.
Are you enjoying the weather yet? Has it warmed up there yet?
Everyone was like, Jake, you're going to love spring training. It's 70 degrees and sunny every day, and that has not been the case. It's been a lot of layering. It's been, 40s in the morning, maybe up to the mid-60s by the afternoon, maybe 10 degrees warmer if you're standing in the sun. So it's been better weather than, you're probably experiencing in Omaha right now, but not the 70 and sunny that it was advertised to be.
Well, I saw your ice cream, baseball hat yesterday. It looked like it was melting a little bit. So the sun looked to be doing some damage on that.
It warmed up a little bit yesterday afternoon, but I mean, truth is it could be 40 degrees and that's not going to keep me away from ice cream and a helmet. So
How's it been so far? I mean, first of all, let's start here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't wait to listen to you guys. And by the way, is Denny there? Does he do spring training anymore? Or like, how's that go?
Denny is not down in Arizona. I'm not sure if he's going to come down later in the spring, but my guess is that he'll be joining us for opening day. I mean, he will definitely be on the air for opening day.
Yes.
He may make an appearance later in the spring, but it seems more likely that opening day is going to be his opening day.
How's it been so far? I mean, just getting, I know you had some experience with that group last year, and there's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people you saw when you were here in Omaha. Just, I mean, how's it been from that standpoint so far?
I mean, well, that's been the best part of it is, I could have wound up in a situation with an organization where I spend 3 weeks just introducing myself to every person that I see and vice versa and trying to remember all these names. But, I come here with an organization that I've gotten to know over the last 3 years now, and players and coaches and front office people that I've gotten to know. And it's not like, hey, who's that guy walking around that we see all the time? That's Jake. And it's good to be able to say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you again, instead of, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Jake. And don't get me wrong, there's still people and players that, I haven't had the chance to meet yet. So I've been doing my best to make the rounds over the last couple of days and try and meet as many people as possible that I don't know yet. But to have the foundation of being familiar with these people has made this transition about as seamless as it could possibly be. And it's been a blast and a whirlwind. And a blast.
Yeah, it'll be a great fit. And when you come back from spring, you'll be flying into a new airport terminal in Kansas City, which will be great.
Yeah, so I've heard. I think it opens today. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, people are losing it in Kansas City about it.
Yeah, I hear it's really, really nice. And I flew out of the, I guess now old Kansas City terminal. And people are really excited about the new one. And I'm looking forward to seeing it too.
All right, Jake. So I feel like every time we have you on, most of the conversation is about the pitch clock, and now you get to do this again this year, and you get a whole round of people who are seeing it for the first time, seeing it in action for the first time. What has been the overwhelming player response? Because we hear the ones where it's negative and it's ruined the game and stuff like that. I have a sense that players are a little bit more adaptive than they're given credit for. What's been the reaction so far from Royals camp and elsewhere on the sudden pitch clock coming into play here?
Well, so here's the interesting thing that I don't know has been discussed or talked about all that much. I heard this statistic somewhere. I want to say it was in an article by Anthony Castrovich, but it was something along the lines of something like 46% of players on 40-man rosters have already played a game with the pitch clock in either AAA, AA, or what have you. 46%. So that's about half, which is a pretty significant number. And when you look at Royals camp and the Royals 40-man roster, that number is probably a little bit even higher because of all the rookies that have come up over the last couple of seasons. I mean, you look at guys like MJ Melendez and Vinny Pasquantino and Michael Massey and Nate Eaton. Brady Singer was in Omaha for 3 weeks last year, pitching with the pitch clock. Jonathan Heasley was in Omaha last year, pitching with the pitch clock. So there's a lot of familiarity with it already. And the guys that haven't been as familiar with it, I think are, going to adjust. These are major league players that are the best at what they do. And they've adjusted to things over the course of their careers. I don't think that there's been any player that's been asked about it and has kind of railed against it. I think most of the vibe has been, hey, this is, really speeding up the pace of these games. And yeah, there are little things that you have to adjust to, but overall, this is a pretty great thing, and we understand why it's happening, and we're going to make the adjustments, try and use it to our advantage here and there how we can, and just embrace the way the game is evolving.
Well, there's going to be some regular season games, or at least there's going to be a regular season game early where, something happens at the end where the guy runs out of time and it's an auto ball or an auto strike, and it ends the game. We've seen it in a couple spring games already. And then there's going to be this sort of outpouring of people coming from everywhere. When you said it, Jake, I like it. There's a lot of people in the game who have used it, are not complaining about it, and they think it's generally good. But the blowback when that happens is going to be pretty interesting to sort of watch. But then by June and July, I think it'll probably just settle in, just as it did last year in Omaha. You saw that evolution too,
right? I mean, I think it was maybe 3 weeks in, and it started to kind of just completely fade into the background. It's not something we even noticed anymore after a while. And there have been a number of people that have, since I saw it last year at the AAA level, which is unique among, the broadcast contingent. What was it like? What did you see? What happened in this scenario? Did anyone try and do this? And every time I get asked questions like that, I'm like, that didn't really happen. We didn't really see that. That wasn't something that had much of an effect. And I think there's a thought process of like, there are all these potential consequences and scenarios that a lot of people are trying to think about. Not to poke holes in the rules or anything like that, just to think about what could possibly happen. And the truth is, we didn't really see a whole lot of that at the AAA level last year. Specifically with the disengagement rule. I don't know, you were at Warner Park a good amount too. I can only remember the disengagement balk thing happening 2 or 3 times the entire season, maybe. So it wasn't nearly as invasive a thing as I think some people might expect it to be. There was a thought last year where we were like, hey, because relievers don't have as much time to, rest between pitches, that maybe their velo is going to be down a little bit, or maybe there's, a bigger chance for injury. And I don't think we saw evidence of that at all last year. And so there are all these scenarios and questions that, it's kind of like, yeah, that's a possibility, but in practicality, it's not something that we noticed.
Big picture, because I was talking about this a little bit before. Big picture, I guess now that it goes into the major league level and we could talk about what it means for the game, what it means for maybe the viewership of the sport. What do you think the sort of big picture idea is for? Obviously, it's to make games shorter, but what does that do in your mind to the viewership of the sport or the popularity of the sport? Does it change it in that regard at all, or does it just do a simple thing and make games more efficient, which I think is plenty, and that's enough for me?
That's an interesting question, and I don't know that I have an actual answer for that. Sorry. I think that, ultimately it's something that at its core, all the unintended consequences or results aside, it's something that's, it makes game times shorter. We've already seen it in spring training where same thing we saw in AAA last year, the average game time is about 2.5 hours. And truth be told, it doesn't even feel like 2.5 hours. You look up after an hour and it's already the 4th inning. I remember walking around the concourse at Surprise Stadium yesterday and looked at my phone, checked the time. It was 2:30, and it was in about the 7th inning. And I was like, oh, okay, there's probably about an hour left of the game. And sure enough, the game was 2 hours and 44 minutes, and the last pitch was right around 3:30. And so I think having that, almost assuredness of like how long games are going to be roundabout, about what time it might end, I think that'll keep fans more engaged, more enthralled. I think it'll make it easier for more casual fans to, grow attached to the game, because it's just simply less of a massive time commitment. You come home from work at 5 o'clock and you're all exhausted and the game starts at 7 o'clock. You're thinking, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay up and watch the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. If this game's going to end at 10 o'clock, I got to get up for work the next day.
Yeah.
But now when you've got games that are going to end more or less around 9:30, well, then you've got folks at home and people that are at the game saying, you know what, it's a Tuesday night. I've got to get up for work in the morning, but this game will be over by 9:30, and then I can go to bed. So you're going to create a more engaged fan base as a result of at least the pitch clock and what it does with game time. So that's kind of a roundabout way of answering your question, I guess.
No, yeah, I think it's open. I don't think we really know the effect it'll have for a while as far as that part of it is concerned. Well, another thing that happened is started now is the shift changes and how that's working in spring. I saw Vinny Pasquantino's quote about how his first at bat he looked up and he's like, there wasn't anybody over there. That was kind of crazy. It was cool. Now in his first at bat of spring he hit the ball over the fence, which was cool for everybody to see. How
the best way to beat the shit. Right?
How the players felt about this one, because I mean, as far as the actual game goes, and then we're talking about statistics now as well. This one can be a little bit more invasive, I guess is probably the right word for it.
Yeah, I mean, the balls that are going up the middle are still going to be outs when you've got the shortstop, playing up the middle, correctly on the left side of second base, but can still more or less be right up the middle. It's the ones that are kind of in that 3-4 hole between first and second, or the ones that might be between the second baseman and the second base bag, depending on positioning, that sneak through for those left-handed hitters. And yeah, there have definitely been a handful of ground ball base hits through the right side that probably wouldn't have been base hits in recent years. And yeah, players have noticed, pitchers have noticed. I think it's the sort of thing that early on in the season, it'll be a talking point like, oh, that ground ball wouldn't have been a hit last year, but it is this year with the new shift restrictions. And at a certain point, it's going to fade into the background just like everything else. One of the things that was interesting yesterday after Zach Greinke threw his first 2 innings of spring training, looked really good too. He was talking about, pitching with the lack of overshift on the right side for the first time, and made a comment about how he gets a lot of pulled ground balls on his changeup when he uses it against left-handed hitters. You throw that changeup down and away to lefties, get him to roll over on it. And he was talking about how he might have to adjust his strategy a little bit because the defense is not going to be where he's used to it being over the last several years. And so there are going to be some adjustments on the strategic side, defensive positioning side, pitch mix side. I think offensively, hitters are going to still just try and hit the ball hard and hit line drives as best they can. I mean, look, it's hard enough to hit the ball, let alone decide where that ball is going to go. It's the hardest thing to do in sports. So I don't think it's going to be as invasive as people might think it is. But yeah, you're going to see a few more hits sneak through, which is exactly the design of it.
Jake Eisenberg of the Kansas City Royals radio network is with us. What's the vibe in Royals camp right now? New coaching staff, a lot of young guys who are now being sort of entrusted with, big roles, responsibilities, leadership roles, stuff like that. It does in a lot of ways feel like a new, a turning of the page, I guess, in the Royals franchise. Now it's your first year there, but you've been around. I guess what's the sort of vibe right now? Like one thing you take away from the feel of camp, and then how Matt Quatraro seems to be sort of operating things in his first season in Kansas City.
I mean, the buzzwords have been, high levels of communication, high levels of, player-centric things. Matt Quatraro's talked about how the dugout is the players' dugout. It's the clubhouse is the players' clubhouse. And, he's very open to letting these guys be who they are. And that's nothing against any other clubhouse or any other manager, but the way that Q has operated from the get-go is high levels of communication with the players and his staff, high levels of collaboration, and high levels of individuality. And I think you're seeing, the really fun personalities of this entire group start to shine through. There's a looseness, there's an excitement, there's a lot of hope too about the potential of this team and what they might be able to do. And look, I know I'm looking at this through Royals colored glasses and might have a little bit of bias here, but I think that this is a team that if it hits its stride and the pitching makes the jumps that people expect it to with the new pitching staff too, the vibe has been that this is a team that could really surprise some people this year, especially in an American League Central division that is not nearly as clear cut as some of the other divisions around baseball. And look, yes, hope springs eternal in spring training. It is the most hopeful time of the year for every single team. But there is a sense in Royals camp that, this year is a big, big step forward for a team that's, hoping to contend again and hoping to make the playoffs in the not too distant future, if not this year, sneaking in.
And you probably only see these things, if you're really, really watching. But the Royals have been well documented now behind the times a little bit as far as the analytics side. That's another buzzword that people use, the analytics side of things. But in order for the Royals to make a jump this year, it's got to be on the back of the pitching staff. They went out and got a couple guys, and young guys got to progress at a little bit of a faster rate. What do you think we'll see aside from normal development from guys like Singer and Lynch and as you go down through the young guys, but just as it's being coached, or what we'll see in games from the pitching side of things for the Royals?
That's an interesting question. What we'll see in games, pitchers are still going to pitch, not to be like an overly simplistic way, but I think off the field and during bullpen sessions and side sessions, it goes back to that communication and collaboration that they keep talking about and preaching. And really this pitching team, the team of staff members that oversee pitching, Brian Sweeney, the new pitching coach, Zach Bove, the new assistant pitching coach, Mitch Stetter, the bullpen coach, the three of them collectively coming together along with the other members of the pitching development staff and research and development, really looking at each of these pitchers individually and looking at their different pitches individually, enhancing the ones that are already good, tweaking the pitch mix to make each pitcher, successful in the best ways possible. It's not a one-size-fits-all sort of equation. It never has been. But you look at a guy like Brad Keller, and what's happened, during the offseason with him is, last year he had, this slider that has effectively become two different pitches now. It's more of a curveball slider, and he's also added a curveball. So we've got a slider with more horizontal movement, a curveball with more vertical drop, and the idea is to get more swings and misses, more whiffs. He's already a guy that induces a ton of weak contact, but now these two different breaking balls gives him looks to righties and lefties that could induce more swings and misses. And so it's about refining each guy's pitch mix and enhancing each of those pitches. And fundamentally, the biggest, emphasis has been on, as Brian Sweeney put it, raiding the zone, throwing more strikes, limiting walks. And honestly, so far, the numbers have borne out that Royals pitchers have been throwing a lot of strikes, especially first pitch strikes. And that kind of mentality has come into play. And you take a Royals team that was near the bottom of the league in walk rate and strikeout rate last rate, you reverse those numbers to the best of your ability, you're looking at a pitching staff that's going to have a lot more success this year.
Music to my ears, man. Throwing strikes. I mean, it's spring talk, as you know, but
Yeah.
I like the idea of throwing strikes.
Of course. It's spring talk, but it's spring. So let's talk like spring talk,
I like it. Any little thing around this time of year can get me excited for the date that's coming up here in just a few weeks, opening day at the K. Jake, awesome job, man. We look forward to hearing you a little bit this spring, and then of course all summer long on our stations, 1180 or 1620 The Zone in Omaha. Appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks so much, Connor. Yeah, I'm excited to be on 1620 for the first time after a couple of years on the 1180 AM side.
That's right, man.
Yeah, looking forward to talking to you through the radio waves throughout the season.
Yep, enjoy, man.
Take care.
That's Jake Eisenberg, the Kansas City Royals radio network, working with little Ryan Lefevre, little Steve Stewart action. Then Denny Matthews is on the he's on the old man contract.
He handled that question very gracefully. I believe opening day will be his opening day.
I don't know. I think Denny was still going to Phoenix as of like last year, a couple years ago. But yeah, I don't imagine he. I mean, because he likes the warm weather. Usually, when the broadcasters get up there in age, like their travel is limited, but it's limited to the places where you actually want to go. They get to sort of pick the game. So I don't know. Denny wanted to spend a couple of years or a couple months down in Phoenix. Probably wasn't the worst thing in the world, but he's still rolling on the radio, on the Kansas City Royals radio network. Yeah, we'll hear Jake all summer long on 1620 The Zone. There'll be some games on 1180 too. We have a phone call, a comment, a review on the interview. It's Rick. Hi, Rick.
Hello, guys. Hey, that last guy, he sounded like he was teaching physics class with the pitcher's curveball and everything. And, he did a good job with his selling the game. But I went to the Scott Blair game last night out at Scott basketball. It started at 6 o'clock. And me and my buddy, we left at 2 minutes left in the game. It was, Scott won handily, and both teams played hard. But by bailing out of there, and I know basketball is in the winter and baseball's in the summer, but we still got to the local pub and still had 2 hours with happy time. And the quaps were about $4 a piece. So
nice.
As far as baseball, it's, 162 games. And, I know they're trying to slow it down, but the youth sports, especially in high school or in the lower levels, is just so much more entertaining. The pro game is so much station to station. They don't bunt no more. Hardly anybody runs steals bases, but the guy did a good job selling soap. But stick to football, even though that's a little longer, and youth sports go a lot quicker.
Okay, Rick, thanks for the call. Bad review though. Baseball rules. Don't you want to see the guys, the professional level, with the most skilled athletes you could possibly get on the face of the earth?
Rick is a known agitator.
Sometimes sometimes it is a little station to station. I don't disagree with Rick on the idea that I would like to see major league teams manufacture more runs.
Hell yeah.
Steal bases, bunt guys over.
That's
Things
your
like
wheelhouse.
And I thought Jake's answer about the sort of future of the game and what that looks like, it was sort of interesting too. I don't think any of us really know yet, but like I theorized earlier, I still don't know how much of a difference it makes in attracting new viewers. But it is really nice to say, we're in the 7th inning, the game will be over in 1 hour, I'll be home soon. You know, that is a pretty cool, especially when you're out at the minor league games. Stuff like, it's like, yeah, it's not, well, it's in the 7th, so
I don't know. It could be here all night, honey.
yeah, I don't know. It could be an hour, it could be 2, could be 15 minutes still. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, that's the thing I like about basketball. It's 2 hours. Basketball games are 2 hours. Even college basketball games that have all the crazy TV timeouts and stuff like that, it's 2 hours.
Hey, honey, there's 45 seconds left. The game will be over in an hour and a half.
All you got to do is check your watch. Say, well, game started at 1. It's 2:45, but there's only 1 minute left in this game. How is this going to last another 15 minutes? Well, it will.
It will.
Trust me. 2 hours. 2 hours.
Set your watch to it.
Great stuff from Jake. We'll catch up with him a whole bunch here during baseball season. And you'll have to forgive me because I will want to ask very specific Royals questions.
Hey, you got to get the info you want when you can.
Him talk about, pitcher. That's it. I mean, that's the story. Just give me 1 second because the odd news is already gone. We'll push it to later. And whoa, sorry, Joel's going to come on next. But if you're a Royals fan, that what they do this year is going to be based on the jump that their pitching takes. And from every report that I've heard, including Jake's just then, there's a lot of reason to believe that they're going to take a pretty big jump. Mostly because it's let me bring it to local terms here. If we're not ready to talk about the Royals, it's almost like having Scott Frost as your coach last year.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know how good the new coach is, but he's saying all the right things, and he can't be that bad. That's pretty much the story with Cal Eldred and the Royals pitching staff. There's just no way he could be that bad. There was a whole bunch of stories written at the end of last year about what they weren't doing. I won't get into it. It's long and very frustrating. So I'm looking forward to the Royals having a competent organization as far as developing pitchers. And that alone should get them several more wins. Several. Oh, Brad Keller, great idea. Let's throw a curveball now. I'm good at throwing a curveball. No, you only got to throw a slider. No, curveballs. Do what you want.
You ever thought of throwing a curve?
No, you can't go to Driveline during the offseason. They're teaching you all this mumbo jumbo bull crap. The guys are getting better when they go there. All right, we'll take a break. Joel Lorenzi, we'll talk Creighton basketball with Joel. Not such a big game, but a must-win game tomorrow for Creighton. And some happenings over the last week. Obviously, wasn't a good week last week for Creighton, 0-2. What does that mean going into the NCAA tournament, Big East tournament, and the NCAA tournament? We'll talk about it next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I find it interesting that they are having their cake and eating it too, though, with this potential change. That would definitely speed up the game, but you keep it because what is one of the arguments against getting rid of this rule entirely?
I think it's unnecessary just simply because colleges run faster than the pros.
Yeah, they do.
And so when it comes to these end-of-game situations, I just don't like it because it's just a weird gimmick. You don't need it.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Seasonal temperatures on the way Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a stray shower or a few sprinkles during the day, but most will stay dry. Highs in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Shingles add beauty and protection to your home. You want the best for long-lasting value. You want CertainTeed shingles, and you want an experienced company to do the job right. You want Carp's complete home exteriors. Local, reputable, the best. It's Carp's.
There's a lot of misconceptions about heating and cooling out there, so it's time we clear the air. When your heater goes out when it's below freezing, that's more than just annoying. Relying on your HVAC system shouldn't be a roll of the dice. Cold weather doesn't clock out, and at 1 hour heating and air conditioning, neither do we. From simple repairs to more complicated fixes, at 1 hour heating and air conditioning, we're always on time, or you don't pay time. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourheatandair.com. Each location independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it, and nobody has been in it to win it at Creighton more than Jim Flannery. The Blue Jay women's head basketball coach earned his 400th victory on February 27th, the first basketball coach in school history to win 400 games on the hilltop. Flannery is the definition of a Blue Jay lifer. Former player, grad assistant for Bruce Rasmussen, top assistant to Connie Yori, winner of 400 games at CU, and soon headed for a program record 6th NCAA tournament. Congratulations, Flan.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
The home schedule concludes on Wednesday night as the Creighton Blue Jays play host to the Georgetown Hoyas. Pre-game coverage begins with Ravi Lula at 6, tip-off at 7:30. Creighton basketball, Wednesday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Johnson with you. Have we ever been referred to as rising stars?
No, never.
I don't think so either.
In fact, people are still waiting for us to hit some potential, let alone our potential.
But our next guest, Joel Lorenzi from the Omaha World Herald, was officially dubbed the rising star. Congratulations, Joel. How are you?
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. And we've had, a couple days. It feels like it's a longer wait now for whatever reason in between. Maybe that's what happens when you lose a couple games in a week. What do you think last week ultimately will mean? Obviously, you're falling short of the Big East title now. And I know Saturday, after the loss of Villanova, Max said, hey, that was going to be a tough game to win no matter what. So it ends up in an 0-2 week. Like, what sort of impact does that have on the season as a whole, and especially as we look forward?
Yeah, I think it just kind of makes their counterattack harder, right? Like Like people, I mean, these last two games, I think you have more to lose than you do to gain. I mean, DePaul and Georgetown, those are two teams right there nobody cares about.
Yep.
So you're probably not going to show, unless you somehow 40-piece either of these teams, you're not going to show that you bounce back from, Nova and Marquette in those games, most likely. So what people are looking for is how to fare in a Big East tournament. And right now, with the 2 losses they took this past week, they're looking at, as we speak, probably playing UConn with the 4 or 5 matchup, which I think is an ideal for them. I mean, obviously at the top, none of those teams are probably ideal for them because all those teams could beat each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think out of all the teams, I think UConn is probably the top 2 matchup that they don't want, just based on physicality and athleticism and just how the season series played out.
Okay, so we'll play the age-old game then. The Big East tournament is going to be a grind for anybody. It would be a grind for anybody to win. Could I make the case that playing UConn and potentially losing in that first game would not be the worst thing in the world long term for this team?
Yeah, because I mean, you maybe show them. I mean, honestly, I don't know how many more flaws you could show Creighton that they have. I mean, their flaws have been pretty glaring since their first few losses back in non-con. But I will say, I don't know. I don't think it's like you said. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's for sure not great. I mean, losing first day out there just isn't good in any scenario. I don't really care who you're playing, and frankly, I think they could probably learn maybe one thing from that game and have that and hold on to that going into the tournament. But you want to at least win a game. Say you won a game going into the tournament because you beat UConn. That's pretty good prep for the tournament. I'd say.
That's true.
You play. I don't know who would be on their side of the bracket. I haven't paid that much attention to it, but then you're bound to play another good team after that. So I think that's better prep to play 2 games and win one.
You always have the conversation about rest, though, and especially for a team that is playing a lot of heavy minutes for their starters. And maybe this week can be a week where you try and steal a few minutes from bench guys. Not that anything's given, but like you said, it's Georgetown and DePaul. Like, how do you feel about the sort of minutes load, the workload on those starters right now? And then maybe how is it different after this week?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if we're talking a long term, the faith I have in the bench as a spectator, in terms of Creighton's success, I think they need. I think for the tournament, for both tournaments, I think they just need good minutes from at least one of those dudes, man. Mm-hmm. If you get like good minutes and then a couple cool minutes from like a 7th guy, then that's ideal. But if you get like great minutes from like a Mason Miller, like I think you end up pretty decent in most spots. So I think that's who's had this to probably shine in his minutes most, based on the recent games for Kaluma. I think Mason is the one who's had to. Hey, when Kaluma was acting up, like, yep, Mason, get in there. So if he can play well, I think that's all you need. At this point, I think we know Fred King, unless he probably starts, which isn't going to happen, unless Kalkbrenner gets injured, then he's not going to give people the production that they're yearning for. And it's going to be a drop-off from the time you see Kalkbrenner step off to when he steps on.
No doubt.
And then Sharif, I think Sharif is probably the guy they need cool minutes from. I want to say Farabello. You know what? Farabello would be that guy. His jumper is, I don't know, man. I mean, we're not even talking about sample size anymore. We're talking about the length of the season, and he just hasn't had the shooting season that he's made a career out of. And so I think if you get him to be mistake-free like he usually is, and maybe the gravity of him being a 3-point threat in the past, if that's enough to give you cool minutes from him, then cool. That's the ideal situation. Mason, good minutes, and Farabello, a couple cool bits. I mean, he's going to play more than that, but you just need a couple cool ones out of him.
Well, like you mentioned, and I want to get into this big picture question before we ask about a couple specific guys. The book has sort of been written. The part of the book that you can write about this team, the regular season part, has been written, but there were so many expectations for this team at the beginning of the season that ultimately everything you do automatically is geared toward the tournament. I think that's fair, and they're expected to win a couple games there. Does it seem like a team right now that you would trust to do that in the first weekend, or is it just matchups and that's sort of it?
Matchups for sure. And you make a fair point, right? Like, this team always had expectations. Now, I will say, and this is probably my own personal bias, but I always was holding them to the expectations like they would make a deep run. I guess I probably wrote off some of the other teams and figured, okay, Creighton, if they're going to be this good of a team, they're probably first place in the Big East, right? But I never took into account regular season title or anything like that.
Yeah.
My view was always on the tournament with them, like, because that's truthfully, we can talk about regular season titles all we want, but what people cite all the time when they debate and what people remember are tournament runs. Those are ultimately what define coaching tenures and a player's time at a school, just eras at universities, man. That deep runs in the tournament are what define those runs, period. And so that was always the view I had. And I sent it to somebody today. I think this was Lunardi's bracket. I'm not deep into bracketology. I don't know who's good and who's not. Frankly, I don't care until the seeding comes out.
Right.
But I was looking at Lunardi's bracket, and he had them. I could probably pull it up. I think the big seed that was in there was Tennessee on the first weekend. And I've been one of the advocates for Tennessee being super, super fraudulent, even before it really came into fruition. So it was Creighton as a 6th seed, Nevada as the 11th seed, Tennessee as the 3 seed, and Furman as the 14th seed. So they would have to get through Nevada and then Tennessee in this hypothetical bracket. I think in that matchup, they're in a sweet team, man.
Right.
And then there's other brackets where, you might run into Alabama or something. I don't know. Like, there are certain schools they definitely don't want to see that'll cut the run short. But there are also a lot of scenarios where they could end up right back where they were 2 years ago.
Well, I don't think you want to see them. You want to try and stay off the 7 line, I guess, if you can, and certainly the 8. But I do think anything between 3 and 6, which is the only realistic things I think you could be at this point, unless you drop a game or two this week, then you go down more. Like, if you're in between 3 and 6, which is where I think they're going to be, it just depends on who you get on the other side. And I don't think there's a 3 in the country who they can't beat, and I really don't think there's a 2 in the country who they can't beat on their right day too. So that's all still there for them, right?
Yeah, and you're right. I think there are a couple 1 seeds they definitely want to. I talked about this all year, and I'll say this: I do Purdue wasn't what people were popping them to be before they even unraveled. Like, you could ask people I've been talking to all year. I mean, Zach Edey has been the best player in the country, but once you look past him, the drop off from first option and second option there is like really rare.
Yep.
Their backcourt, they really depend on young guards. I think if you look at a couple 1 seeds, I think if you look at all the 1 seeds, assuming they're still, I don't know how they could drop to the 2 line, but that's probably the 1 seed where they would want to run into if they had the best chance of beating. Not saying they would beat them, but they would have the best chance of beating them. And then I think I think you're right. There's a couple tools they would want to see, but like the ones like Kansas and like Houston and Arizona, I don't think they want nothing to do with them, if I'm being honest.
Right. We always, Joel Lorenzi with us from the Omaha World Herald. I feel like we always end up having a brief conversation about Arthur Kaluma every time we have you on, and we're going to do that again because his last few games are, you don't really know what you're going to get out of him. He bounces back against Villanova. He was basically pulled in the last 10 minutes against Marquette when Farabillo was getting his minutes. What do you make of I guess, how much do you trust Arthur Kaluma at this point If you're, I mean, you as a watcher, or if you're Greg McDermott?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I mean, it has to still be your starter. There's no question. I think you still play him the minutes that you play him, but it's just, I think it's shifted from, I think most of the year, you know what you were going to get from the team, which is why they were so unpredictable. And now you kind of know what you're going to get. And now you don't know what you're going to get from individuals like Shireman and Kaluma. Like Kaluma is one of the more consistent guys during that run through January and early February, with just what he offered and whatnot. And I think in recent games, like obviously he had that one bucket against Marquette, but like now he's kind of, I don't know, he's not doing the things that he was doing during that run to the extent he was doing, and instead he might come up for, a hot scoring streak, which I don't know what that's worth if he's not doing the things he was doing back in January in terms of like the intangibles and the grittiness and being that pest on the boards and sliding on defense. I think that was the stuff that was really helping them win games. I'm not saying he's not doing that, but I don't think it's there to the same extent. And I think it's probably been hidden by, the 9-point, run at St. John's. And, he ended up, I think, with the team high against Nova. But that was all in, like, minutes that didn't really, I don't want to say it didn't matter, but by then they were already basically buried. And so people know, like, they can see the inconsistency now. And it's been, like, people were harping on his Marquette performance. Like, I don't know, man. When you ask how much I trust him, I don't know. But I probably would have said that at the beginning of the year, too. I'm just not sure how far we've gotten through the year on that front. But I do know they can't change his role. Like, you have to keep playing him and just hope for the best.
Well, it's the same question with Shireman, too, who's missing shots. I think the turnovers, he tries to make some spectacular passes sometimes. But the thing about both of those guys is, like you said, I've always said this about them, like you have to sort of take the lows with the highs, because what they can do for you when they're good is it makes this team really, really special. I think it's the same thing with Shireman too. You sort of have to just ride the wave. Yeah.
And really the way the team's built, they don't have a choice, right? Like they weren't super great in the portal. They built this team. I mean, they thought.
Whoa.
What the hell? Yeah. I'm clearly in traffic on the way to the World Herald, and I don't know what people got going on. You Omaha drivers, man. Y'all,
it's the potholes. The potholes. Everybody's mad.
Yeah, but anyway, so the way the team was built, I mean, they've kind of been stuck with it all year once they realized that the reserves weren't who they thought they were, or at least not as soon as they thought they were. Honestly, I still don't think the reserves are who they thought they were. But,
right.
So the starting five, and granted, this is at its peak, no question, probably a top 3 starting group in the country. They've lived and died by them, man. And Lord knows in recent weeks, they died by Shireman and I think more so Shireman than Kaluma, really, but Kaluma's had his mishaps. And, so they can't turn away from them, even if they wanted to. I mean, Mason's spot minutes, I think, have been a good reminder to Kaluma, like, hey, like a wake-up call.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's nothing quite like that for Shireman. Like, he just has to either have a bad shooting night or shoot well. Like, there is nobody to, spot his minutes. Come on, man. And so I'm getting in on the fun. But so yeah, like Kaluma has that not replacement, but Matt can say, okay, Kaluma, like, come on, man, wake up.
Yeah.
But Shireman, and I think that's what's probably frustrated people most with Shireman, is that when he shoots bad, you can't turn away from him, man. He has to be out there because of the offers, but it just happens that his shooting deficiency becomes glaring.
Yeah, no doubt. Joel, all right, stay safe out there, man. It's dangerous. People are aggressive right now. We'll see. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. See you.
That's Joel Lorenzi from the Omaha World Herald. Talking about Omaha drivers. My God. Have you ever heard so many horns honk in a span of 2 minutes?
Sounded like he was in like
New York City?
Yeah.
What is going on down there? He's like, there's motors. Does he have his window down? It's 42 degrees outside.
I just assumed he was walking.
I guess he's probably walking.
Yeah. There wouldn't be that many horns, right? If he was just driving.
I guess
right?
not. I don't. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. John emails in. He says, "Good Lord, is Joel filling a glass of ice with Connor's ice machine?" I think we got all the information we needed.
My wife made a similar comment, and I said a lot of our guests are doing things
I
when
know,
they talk to us
I
because
know.
it's the middle of the day. Like Sam was clearly zipped up a backpack yesterday, got into his car,
you heard the
and started.
doo-doo-doo.
Like, why was the phone
We gotta get
right by the backpack you were zipping up?
Get our guests to sit down.
I love it. I love the madness.
Non-intrusive, non-invasive show. Hey, I mean, I think that's it though. I think you sort of nailed it. Like the book has kind of been written on the regular season. You are what you are. Your starters are what you are. Your bench is what it is. You're not going to make up any ground in the last week playing Georgetown and DePaul. And then whatever happens at the Big East tournament happens at the Big East tournament. But as far from like a playing standpoint for Creighton, I mean, you can expect a degree of consistency from Kalkbrenner, Nembhard, and who am I missing out of that starting lineup? Kalkbrenner, Nembhard, and Trey. Right? And you know, I know Kalkbrenner didn't have a great game against Marquette last week. And some of that was what Marquette was doing. Some of that was what Kalkbrenner's doing. Some of that is what the offense is getting to him. But I could see any result in the NCAA tournament for Creighton at this point. And this is not meant to comfort you. I could see any result. And that's good or bad because it's going to largely depend on matchups and the play and the efficiency of Shireman and Kaluma.
Mm-hmm.
If they're great, Creighton is really, 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 really hard to beat. And if they're not good, then, you know, you're getting bad shots and you're getting turnovers and you're going to have to fill those guys, you know, fill some more minutes with bench minutes, especially Kaluma. And, you know, Creighton just gets a lot worse or a lot less dynamic especially without Kaluma in the lineup. And definitely without Baylor, even though, like Joel said, I don't know how much of an option that is, taking Baylor out of the game.
Yeah. You like the way the bracketology shakes out right now.
That's
if you're Creighton.
Well, yeah, if you're looking at that specific one.
Just dropped today. Yeah, if that was to come to fruition, because even the bracket beneath them, your 7 seed is Michigan State, your 2 seed is K-State.
But if you're a 6, you can lose to an 11.
Yeah, you can get got. And Creighton has shown that numerous times throughout the season.
And
they are gettable.
You can also beat a 3.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be the randomness of March Madness. Yeah. We'll come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Join Genesis Health Clubs today for just $10 and save $20 per month every month with no contract. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs, here with the secret to healthy fitness habits. It's true that there are plenty of people who manage to stay consistent with exercise over lunch or after work, but the real secret is scheduling exercise into your daily routine. Pick a time, and that is your time to exercise. What is more important than your health? Nothing. So what time are you working out tomorrow? I'm inviting you to give it a try by joining Genesis Health Clubs for just $10 and save $20 a month, all with no contract. Join online until midnight. This offer won't extend. whether your exercise is at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Schedule your exercise because it's the most important part of your schedule. And now life's little interruptions won't stand in your way. Make today your day for better health. Come into any Genesis location or go online and get started for just $10 and save $20 per month with no contract. Join online until midnight. This offer won't extend. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com to get started today.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
What do you mean he went searching for fresher powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Toward each other to snowplow, honey, not away.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. Whoa, Braley, no, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
NRG Media, the parent company of this radio station, is looking to hire a client marketing coordinator. This person will work directly with our sales account executives to create and execute multimedia marketing campaigns for local businesses. Critical and creative thinking are must-haves. If you're organized, goal-oriented, and have a marketing mind and are proficient in Microsoft, go to the careers page at nrgmedia.com for more information and to apply. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Is the cost of medication stopping you from getting ED treatment? At forhims.com/radio, you can get access to trusted, effective ED treatments for 95% off the typical price. Through HIMS, a licensed medical provider can prescribe the generic versions of Viagra, Cialis, and other name brand ED treatments at up to 95% off. Trusted ED treatments for a fraction of the price. Simple, affordable, totally online access to ED treatment with no insurance required starts at forhims.com/radio. No more doctor's offices, no more copays, and no more trips to the pharmacy. If prescribed, your order ships directly to you for free in discreet packaging. ED treatment that's 95% less expensive so you can get back to feeling 100% like yourself. Start your free visit today at forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free visit. forhims.com/radio.
All right, welcome back. Dylan Raiola update of the day.
Oh, good. Finally.
I know. It's bad news. Well,
oh no,
it's not.
He's going to Georgia. I knew it. I knew it.
Calm down. I didn't. That's not what I meant. Dylan Raiola was removed as the top player on the On3 rankings, or he was displaced, I should say.
How? It's February.
Doesn't matter.
It's not like somebody's game has evolved.
No, it did. It changed.
Oh.
According to On3, the new number one prospect is edge rusher Dylan Stewart.
Oh, it's probably a mix-up. They're both named Dylan.
The standout moves into the top spot that was previously held by quarterback Dylan Raiola.
Damn it.
So here's what they did. The February update of the On 300 is one of the more extensive overhauls over the course of the cycle. It's the first update after the junior season, with film and production being the primary drivers. We've also seen the pool of prospects for the 24 class increase significantly. Hundreds of prospects have emerged on the radar, blah, 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 blah. Here's what it says about Raiola. The current lack of a true number one contender among the 2024 quarterback group is another primary driver of the change at the top of the On 300. As noted above, Dylan Raiola held the spot since the initial 2024 On 300 debuted around this time last year. On 3 was the first national outlet to rank Raiola as the top prospect in the cycle. We've been high on him for some time. With that said, Josh, brace yourself. Raiola did not progress like you'd want to see as a junior after transferring to Chandler High School.
What? One more time?
He did not progress like you'd want to see his junior year. He could rebound again and challenge with continued improvement, movement skills, and a strong senior season. By the way, he'll be going to his third high school. None of these things are red flags, right? Just asking the question. Third high school, dropped in the rankings. We're good?
Third high school is a little more weird than anything else.
All right, we're good.
Right?
Nope, not weird. We're ignoring it.
Okay.
That's
our official stance as a group?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Also, we do not any longer respect On 3.
Nope.
So, Robin, Sean, I guess we don't have Sean on. Robin, Munson, sorry, you guys are dead to us.
Excommunicado.
There was an update dropped on Dylan's recruitment this morning from On 3. Would you like to hear some Dylan quotes?
Ooh, yeah. Hit me.
Talked about his weekend at Nebraska. He called it a surreal moment. Raiola received a standing ovation and threw the bones to the Cornhusker faithful at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Quote, it was definitely something I never would have thought would have happened. He said, it was definitely cool, though, to see the fans and how much they love their sports and their football. That was really special. People chanting my name. I kind of got goosebumps. It was pretty cool.
It was definitely not a recruiting violation as well.
Nope, not at all. Raiola, the elder Raiola, communicates with the Huskers often. He talks with multiple coaches, including Matt Rule. They interact 3 times a week. I guess this is the son. This is Dylan. They interact 3 times a week over text and over phone every other week. Quote, just getting to know what they're about, what they're building. Raiola said about his contact with Nebraska. I talked to Marcus Satterfield about the offense and what they did. He came from South Carolina with Spencer Rattler, and I know Spencer a little bit, so I could pick his brain on what his thoughts are being in that offense. Raiola is visiting Nebraska next month. Here's what he's looking for. I definitely want to see how they operate, see how the players react to coaches, see how coaches coach, just seeing what the new offense is like, spending more time with the coaches. That's really important for me. Relationships are a big deal for me. Just really understanding what they're trying to do and their plan for me in the future. Let me ask you this. Has Nebraska, and really all of these schools, as he will take visits and that will be the lasting impression of them. But correct me if I'm wrong here. It seems as each of these schools at this point in his recruitment have sort of shot their shot.
Yeah,
right.
What's coming at the 11th hour that hey,
what is there to learn?
We just got a pinball machine.
I think, maybe you would say NIL, but I think that's been talked about, already as well. I think
obviously
that's
not with the coaching staff, Connor, that would be illegal.
Illegal. Thank you, Josh. No, I think that has been discussed already. And he's made a whole bunch of visits. He's going to make a couple more. Will that push him over the edge on one school or another? I don't know. But I do think Nebraska's sort of shot their shot here, and I think they're in a good spot. I don't know what changes over the next month. Smoke screens, and he's got a top 75, or does he have a top 3? I don't know. I don't know. I think you should probably feel pretty good about it. I do think this
drama.
I do think this weekend probably meant something too. I think that was probably important.
Yeah, that's something special that some of the other places he's considering can't offer.
Well, definitely can't offer a trip during a dead period. That is one thing the school has confirmed cannot offer. But his uncle's here.
He's his own man. If he wants to go to an Oregon basketball game, he is more than welcome to buy a ticket and go to an Oregon basketball game.
I guess he can.
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, wait, can he?
I don't know. He's a human. He's
a free person. He's a man. He could just walk on campus and start going to basketball games and stuff.
Yeah, right.
But his uncle's here, so that's cool.
Is a family outing.
He's got great seats. I didn't know Donnie had such great seats.
Oh yeah, nothing but the best.
They give the offensive line coaches pretty good seats.
Definitely. This is all on the up and up, by the way.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
On the Equitable Bank box, the only thing Nebraska has left to do on their 11th hour recruiting pitch is switch to Coke. A cola.
Most voted on poll of the year yesterday, by the way.
Thank you, Sipple, for the retweet.
Yeah, a little boost there.
Keep doing that. Keep responding to our poll questions, Sipple.
Came out 81%. Yes, the University of Nebraska would change to Coke products if Dylan Raiola requested it.
He also responded to one of ours today.
Yeah.
Did you know Dundee was bombed during World War II? To which Sipple said, whoa.
I'm going to put him down as a no.
He did not. Jack John tweets in.
Hi, Jack John.
On the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Raiola dropping in the rankings in February just means they definitely know he's committing to Nebraska. Conspiracy.
Everybody hates Nebraska.
And once he commits, he's probably going to lose that 5th star.
Oh, yeah.
I'd imagine.
For sure.
If he commits to Georgia, he's going to get a 6th star.
The first ever 6-star quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes here. All right, we'll come back. Josh's top 5 to come in the bottom of the hour. We're sort of wide open, or the end of the hour. We're sort of wide open for the rest of the show. No more guests who are about to get run over by a car. So give us a call, send us a text if you'd like. 402-951-1620. More to come next on 1620 The Zone. That's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Creighton coverage on The Zone is presented by Barry Law. At Barry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Barry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BarryLawFirm.com. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Are you looking for tickets for the next big event? Be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. They're going to take care of you all of the best seats to the biggest local events, and they've also got great seats to events nationwide. Now, the one thing with ticketsforless.com that I love is they never charge per ticket fees. And you know what? With that, you can save hundreds of dollars over other resale websites. You can lock in a special discount right now when you use the special code THEZONE at checkout at ticketsforless.com. Simply enter the code THEZONE at checkout, and you're going to earn an exclusive listener discount. Memories for Life start at ticketsforless.com.
Lula Lula Bee's Breakfast, Brunch, and Bar is downtown Omaha's go-to spot for quality food with a Mexican flair. Lula Bee's has everything from French toast and omelets to shrimp tacos and burgers. There's even a full bar with uniquely inspired cocktails. Want to have a party? Lula Bee's has a fun and festively decorated party room that seats up to 65 of your favorite people with custom catering available. Booked for parties, family events, celebrations, or just brunch with all your friends. Lula Bee's, 9th and Dodge, or at lulabeesomaha.com.
The road to the NCAA tournament begins on Friday night for the Omaha men's basketball team. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. The Mavericks open up the first round of the Summit League tournament against Kansas City from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We'll be on the air with pregame at 8 o'clock. Tip-off 8:30 on 1180 The Zone.
The Victory Marine Boat Show, March 3rd through 5th at Christensen Field in Fremont. Run, Nautique, Avalon, Moonbine, Mercury, and more. Free admission. The fun begins Friday. VictoryMarineLLC.com for all the info. Victory Marine, selling fun since 71.
Just a shocking story coming out of Washington today, D.C. It turns out, Josh, that Dan Snyder sucks. What? And that he was using the Washington football franchise as his personal piggy bank. I am shocked by this news.
This is slanderous on your part.
Yeah.
Just absolutely gonna get us sued.
I would like to read to you my favorite couple parts of this.
Please, I've
story.
purposefully read nothing because I saw it in the rundown of the show today that these were juicy quotes.
So yeah, he's got there's some good stuff in here. But basically he took out a huge loan and used it for whatever he sort of wanted to. There's a lot of details in this. None of this should surprise you. Dan Snyder sucks. But let me just read you my favorite couple paragraphs.
Okay.
In a June 5th, 2020 letter, Snyder's lawyer told the partners for his co-owners that Snyder planned to expense more than $7 million in unreimbursed business expenses for fiscal years 2017 through 2020. Snyder also revealed that he was seeking $1 million in reimbursements for vehicle costs and extra security required during foreign travel due to his high-profile position as the owner. In the letter, Snyder revealed that the expenses included a July 2018 yacht party in the south of France, where he hosted fellow owners Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, and Terry Pegula. This included world-class cuisine prepared by some of the top personal chefs in the world and highest quality wine and beverages, the partners said in their petition. And Snyder told the partners he had hired the accounting firm PwC to perform a detailed accounting of all business expenses for the entire 17-year investment period of the partners. So, long story short, while Mr. Snyder's on the yacht party in France, hanging out with Jera and Bob Kraft, two great people, by the way.
Upstanding stalwarts of the National Football League.
He is trying to counter investigate. He's basically trying to get more money out of the other partners. Cool.
Hey, Jerry, will you be my friend?
With the benefit of the financial report in their own digging, the partners allege that Snyder had used team funds to help pay for his 2 personal yachts, multiple residences, and services of more than 60 members of his personal staff, multiple vehicles in the United States and Europe, and countless meals, wine, beverages, and entertainment. I mean, how rich? First of all, let's just get the absurdity of this. My favorite paragraph is still forthcoming.
Oh,
but the absurdity of a person who owns an NFL team feeling the need, so I'm insinuating he is rich. You own an NFL team, you're rich.
Yeah. Yeah, I can confirm Daniel Snyder is rich. Yes.
But he felt the need to dive into the team funds to buy extra stuff for some reason. I I mean, this is like the poorest rich man I've ever seen. Like I or just the dumbest,
This
I suppose.
feels a lot like that Seinfeld bit where Kramer comes into Jerry's apartment and he goes, "It's a write-off. You just write it off.
Just write it off.
You don't even know what a write-off is."
You don't pay for it. All right, but here's my favorite part. Just an incredible paragraph. Here it is. It's from the ESPN story. The partners said they discovered Snyder had leased his personal jets back to the team. Besides Snyder paying himself a salary of $10 million a year, he also had arranged for the franchise to pay him $4.5 million for having the team logo emblazoned on his jet. He called it a, quote, advertising fee, documents show.
Oh, I've had this scheme before.
But the partners said the logo on Snyder's private jet, quote, provides little to no advertising value. And besides, they said they never approved the millions per year that Snyder paid himself.
Everybody, I think,
What
at
a
one
bit.
time or another has thought,
what a scam.
You know, if I wrap my car in my company's logo, I wonder if they'd pay for my car for me. Everyone has thought that. Have we not?
What a scam. And turns out he's the owner, so he can actually do it. Let's pay myself almost 50% of my annual salary just to slap a Washington football team logo on my plane. That is awesome. That is awesome. I mean, say what you want about the guy. Great move.
And now he's not going to take Bezos's money. He's like, anyone can put in a bid for this team, but not the richest guy in the world. Nope, I won't take his money because I hate him that much. Just an excellent businessman.
Great guy. Great guy. Dan Snyder might be the funniest person alive. Travis texts into the show. Are we at all surprised that Snyder is not only a crappy human being, but also a scam artist? No, we're not surprised by this. But I really like hearing the explicit details of how he's running the scams.
Yeah.
That makes it a lot funnier to me.
The confirmation bias is excellent here.
Yeah, I love these. I love stories like this. I love deep dives. Just little specific tidbits here and there.
Because
he bought himself a plane with the money that the team paid him to be, that he gets from the team for being an owner, that he declared as his own salary, $10 million a year, slapped the Washington football team logo on the plane, and then gave himself $4.5 million more and wrote it off as an advertising fee for the football team. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's professional money stealing. And this story, if you read the whole thing, it definitely lends more credence to the idea that Dan Snyder has dirt on the owners and Goodell, because nobody did anything about any of this. Everybody knew. Nobody did anything. It seems like Goodell knew about the loan that was not authorized. Like, read the story. It's a long read. It's sort of confusing at times. It's a lot of, legal and financial jargon, but it definitely it lends credence to the idea or the theory that has been out there, which is this guy is getting away with basically murder because he has dirt on everybody in the NFL. And I actually kind of buy it.
Yeah, it's the only thing.
Must have some pretty dirty dirt.
Yeah. Because, we got rid of the Panthers owner. So there is precedent for just
getting rid of owners.
Yeah, we don't like you. Get out of here.
Yep.
That guy had a statue at the team's stadium.
Pretty
and
funny.
they still said, no, you can go. That's fine.
NFL owners, man. What will they do next? Also, lesson, if Dan Snyder invites you to a yacht party off the coast of South France, go. It's on his dime. It'll be fun.
I think I would go.
I would go.
Poll question. If Dan Snyder invited you to a
yacht party off the coast of South France, would you go? Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah.
Josh has the top 5 when we return next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The Big Ten and McDonald's, ubiquitous, darn near everybody accepts, if not likes them. They provide a consistent, above-average quality for the product they sell. They're a great default when you just need something to consume or get a craving, but they'll never win any award.
Not bad. That's a pretty solid comparison.
What's Nebraska then?
What would Nebraska be in the McDonald's?
Ice cream machine.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly cloudy skies and mild temperatures, tracking a high temperature of 45 degrees. There's a small chance of a passing shower or two before 5 o'clock. For tonight, clearing skies with temperatures cooling into the upper 20s, tracking a morning low of 27 degrees. Milder for your Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, high temperature of 47. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton basketball is here, and this is a season you won't want to miss. Affordable tickets for the whole family start as low as $10. Get your tickets online at gocreighton.com/tickets and cheer on your Blue Jays all season long. That's gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
The road to the NCAA tournament begins on Friday night for the Omaha men's basketball team. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. The Mavericks open up the first round of the Summit League tournament against Kansas City from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We'll be on the air with pregame at 8 o'clock. Tip-off 8:30 on 1180 The Zone.
Are you the kind of person who feels sorry for anyone who works in an office? If you prefer to be outdoors in the sun or the rain or the hot or the cold, then Quality Irrigation would like just 30 seconds of your time. If you have experience with irrigation systems and would love to work with a team that'll make your career more rewarding, Quality Irrigation is the kind of company that'll reward your hard work, smart ideas, and initiative. Visit quality-irrigation.com and click the Careers tab to apply today. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
That's right, Connor. What's happening?
A surprise bottom 5. Negative boy Josh. Dan Snyder. He sucks. One quick follow-up on the text line here. Says, I wouldn't go to Dan Snyder's yacht party in France because what are the chances Dan tries to drug you in order to get you to compromising positions so he can take pictures and blackmail you? Those are definitely his kind of vibes.
Absolutely correct. I can't argue that point.
Okay.
That it's definitely his vibe, his MO, his get down.
Seems like he may have done that already to Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got something on him.
Maybe that's what happens at those yacht parties.
Ooh.
He just brings everybody. I mean, it's a great investment, right? Or bring everybody in. I'm going to spend all this money and everything's on my dime. But once you get there,
one glass is poisoned.
You're
drugged.
We're not accusing Dan of this, but there's no evidence to support that.
Yeah, this is all reckless speculation, conjecture, not real.
All right.
Don't sue us.
So bottom 5, Josh.
Bottom 5. There's a little movie coming out on Friday called Creed 3.
Oh, yes.
And we'll do the best boxing movies later this week. But today I thought it would be fun to take a stroll through the worst boxing movies.
All right. I'm going to set my
Of all
over-under
time.
at 0.
I believe the answer is 1.
Okay.
Shall we begin?
Oh, Rocky 3's got to be one of them, probably, right? Or
Rocky 3?
Rocky
No,
5.
That's Thunder Lips, man.
Rocky 5. But people don't like Rocky 3, right?
People like Rocky 3. They just don't like it as much as Rocky 4.
Okay. What do they think about Rocky 2? Kind of nonsense. It's just nothing.
Kind of a retread.
So Rocky 5's on here.
Yes.
Okay.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
All right, bear with me. A lot of these are... Oh, that was a movie that existed? So, number 5 is Against the Ropes, starring Meg Ryan and Omar Epps.
Oh, that was a movie that existed?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. From 2004.
Here we go. Against the Ropes from 2004. A lowly PA, like a physician's assistant, a lowly PA
Production assistant
to the owner of the Cleveland Coliseum. A woman gets into an argument with promoter Sam LaRocca, who laughingly offers her the contract of one of his fighters. He turns out to be a crack-addicted Devon Green. But fate intervenes in the shape and muscle of debt collector Luther Shaw, who's after the money Green owes. Seeing his potential this is a nonsensical
movie.
Callan persuades him to sign up, but after a few minutes. I couldn't even read that synopsis. It was so confusing.
The short version of what Connor just said is a boxing manager believes she and veteran trainer can turn a young man into a streamlined prize fighter.
But he's a crack addict?
Yeah, there are several.
He was on crack!
Several issues. Meg Ryan, Omar Epps, Tony Shalhoub, Kerry Washington.
Okay. I don't know Tony Shalhoub.
Monk.
Nope.
You don't know Monk?
No, I don't know Monk.
Okay. Yeah, it's full of every sports cliche.
Cool.
That there is.
Seems horrible.
And yeah, no, it is. I would avoid like the plague.
There's 4 worse?
Yes.
Number 4.
Number 4, Play It to the Bone from 1999. What a time, 1999. Do you remember 1999?
Oh, I do.
Woody Harrelson, Antonio Banderas.
Woody Harrelson didn't have any COVID takes yet.
No. Lucy Liu, Wesley Snipes, Kevin Costner's in this movie.
Kevin Costner is basically an uncredited role.
Yeah.
Like he's a fan, a bystander.
Just a guy.
Okay.
Just here to enjoy the fights, everyone.
Woody Harrelson and Antonio Banderas star as best friends and professional boxing rivals Vince Boudreau and Cesar Dominguez. Both, I wonder which one's which, both of whom haven't worked in years. Finally, from out of the blue, they get the chance of a lifetime, an assignment to work together in Vegas. The job promises big money, but there's a hitch. They have to be there now. They have to. That is the catch of the movie. They have to be in Vegas.
Oh no. A boxer has to live and work in Vegas.
I'm kind of in on Woody Harrelson stuff. I don't know about his SNL monologue, but
that is what got me to the movie.
Yeah.
Also, the work of Tom Sizemore, soon to be R.I.P. Seems like we're about to pull the plug on him after a brain aneurysm this weekend. So
Damn.
Expect a top 5 Tom Sizemore movies coming up. Saving Private Ryan, number 1. No, Heat, number 1. Sorry. But you ever watch a movie and go, "Oh, I think that was a joke."
Yes.
It's just an awful feeling like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a joke.
Yeah.
And it didn't get me.
There
I
was a
didn't laugh.
space there for
Yeah.
me to laugh. Didn't fill it.
And you just know, oh man, we got 2 hours of this.
So you've seen all these?
I have seen all these.
Oh man.
Unfortunately.
Bad.
I like a boxing movie.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Number 3, I don't know. The listeners will tell me if this counts or not. Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. boxing. I don't know what the hell they were. Transformers or something.
Boxing Transformers?
Yeah, they were like big metal monsters, robots.
Oh, like BattleBots?
Yeah.
Charlie Kenton, Hugh Jackman, used to be a prize fighter, but lost his chance to win a title when heavy, towering robots took over the boxing ring. Now working as a small-time promoter, Charlie pieces together scrap metal into low-end fighters, barely earning enough to make it from one underground venue to the next. After hitting rock bottom, Charlie reluctantly teams with his estranged son, Max, to build and train a championship robot for a last shot at redemption. What the hell?
I can't tell you the number of times I rolled my eyes during this movie, but I will say this. It has a 60% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not horrible.
73% from the audience, the real people.
2 hours and 7 minutes long.
Oh, it feels like 4.
Yeah.
Because you just know where it's going.
I
from
imagine it does.
The opening scene.
Oh, no. Rocky 5 is going to be...
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is a movie called Grudge Match. Robert De Niro. Sylvester Stallone, is he the other guy? Kevin Hart.
Oh my God, Peter Segal directed this.
Look at you getting into directors.
I know Peter Segal.
I like this.
I watched my fair share of dumb Peter Segal movies in college. Who didn't? Pittsburgh boxers Billy the Kid McDonough, Robert De Niro, and Henry Razor Sharp, Sylvester Stallone, shared a fierce rivalry in the 80s. Each had scored a victory in 2 matches, but on the eve of their decisive third bout, Henry suddenly announced his retirement, effectively ending both boxers' career. 30 years later, boxing promoter Kevin Hart, Dante Slate Jr., Kevin Hart, makes Billy and Henry an offer they can't refuse. Return to the ring and settle the score once and for all. So old guys fighting.
Yeah. And like the joke throughout the movie's entire nearly 2-hour runtime is, hey, you guys are old. That's it. That's the joke.
Yep. I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
How much older is De Niro than Stallone?
I don't know. Which one are you going to look up? I'll look up the other one.
I'll look up De Niro.
Okay. Stallone is 76.
De Niro is...
He's got to be in his 80s.
79.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Who won?
I don't remember. Kevin Hart won because he's the only thing I remember from this movie.
Nice.
Because this was what, 2013? When did white people start learning about Kevin Hart?
Right after 40-Year-Old Virgin, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
Come back. Clap all y'all.
Yep, that's the moment.
That was the moment you learned about Kevin Hart.
Absolutely. Nope, good shout by you. That leads us to the worst boxing movie of all time. Connor spoiled it before we even got started. But that's okay, because sometimes the obvious choice is the correct choice.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Blast Rocky 5 into the sun.
So you're telling me I've seen the worst boxing movie of all time. This is as bad as it gets.
In my opinion, yes.
Now, I forget, what was Paulie doing in this movie? I'm always interested in what Paulie was up to. Was Paulie still making racist jokes?
Was Paulie dead? Did Paulie die? Which one did Paulie die in?
Paulie dies in the series? I didn't know this. I think Paulie, the actor, Burt Young, is alive. He is still with us. Amazingly.
Really?
But I don't know. I don't feel like I saw.
Oh, no. Paulie died in February 22nd, 2012 in the Rocky canon.
The Rocky canon?
Yes.
What is this?
The overarching story of Rocky. In the movie Creed, Sylvester Stallone visits the grave of Adrian and Paulie, who were conveniently buried right next to each other, like a husband and wife.
Oh, brother and sister.
And the tombstone, it says February 22nd, 2012.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't remember Paulie dying.
Yeah, so he does not die on camera in a Rocky movie.
Rocky 5, recently retired boxer Rocky Balboa falls on hard times after his accountant mismanages his finances. He stages a comeback of sorts by mentoring fiery young boxer Tommy.
Oh, Tommy.
While
That
also
guy, I hate Tommy so much.
while also trying to mend his shaky relationship with his own son, Robert. These challenges prove to be at least as tough as any fight Rocky has ever faced in the ring. He wonders if he'll be able to meet them and raise his arms in victory again.
Movie characters I hate the most. Fredo. Tommy is probably in the top 5.
Is Adrian in there?
No.
Adrian's a tough hang.
She is.
You can't win.
She's also a tough hang.
You can't win.
The Godfather, she's also a tough hang.
She's a tough hang in that movie too. Yeah.
Talia Shire might just be a tough hang.
Yeah. Tommy was pretty tough. Tommy's real name, Tommy Morrison.
I think he was like a real life boxer.
He was, it appears. Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
Good drop in with the bottom 5. Thank you for doing that.
You gotta have fun with this every once in a while.
Couple comments, coincidentally, one from Tommy on the text line.
Hi, Tommy. Sorry.
I'd say Real Steel counts since he's a previous boxer. Doesn't make it a great movie though.
Mm-hmm.
Travis follows up. He says, "What's wrong with boxing robots? Let's just keep letting humans beat each other to death instead of our robot underlings doing it for us."
Well crafted text.
All right, we'll come back. 1 o'clock hour. Still to come. We'll talk about Nebraska basketball tonight and plenty more on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duck Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Ready to revolutionize your home's look? Smash those outdated windows and upgrade with J-Tech Construction, the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. For a limited time, qualified buyers enjoy no payments and 0 interest for a year. Plus, receive a free triple paint upgrade. Trust the best in the business and see why so many homeowners choose us. Contact us now and take the first step toward a stunning home transformation. The official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, your exterior experts.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72. Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply at hostcoffee.net.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Is the cost of medication stopping you from getting ED treatment? At forhims.com/radio, you can get access to trusted, effective ED treatments for 95% off the typical price. Through HIMS, a licensed medical provider can prescribe the generic versions of Viagra, Cialis, and other name brand ED treatments at up to 95% off. Trusted ED treatments for a fraction of the price. Simple, affordable, totally online access to ED treatment with no insurance required starts at forhims.com/radio. No more doctor's offices, no more copays, and no more trips to the pharmacy. If prescribed, your order ships directly to you for free in discreet packaging. ED treatment that's 95% less expensive so you can get back to feeling 100% like yourself. Start your free visit today at forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free visit. forhims.com/radio.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
There is no reason that a kid from this state with what is sitting down 45 minutes outside of Omaha has that weight room, that education, that stadium, the money behind those facilities should ever want to not go there.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8 Monday through Friday, or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Payne West on 1620 The Zone.
Tickets for Less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
PJ asks on our stream here, did you talk about Sister Jean's predictions yet? You know, one of my favorite things that happens on the show is, I think you get this when you host any radio show, and somebody will text in or call in or comment in, and they'll say, have you talked about this yet? And it could be anything. It could be actually legitimately the most popular topic of the day. Have you talked about this yet? Where can I find it if you have? Can you talk about it again? Can you talk about it more? Or it could be like PJ is like, have you talked about Sister Jean's predictions yet? It's like, no, we haven't talked about Sister Jean's predictions, but we will.
Yes, we will.
Request lines open. Sister Jean said that Kentucky's going to win the Natty. Sister Jean is 103.
Did she fill out a full bracket yet, or?
Well, there is no bracket to fill out, Josh. She just says, I think Kentucky's going to win. Loyola's not going to make the tournament. By the way, did you know that Loyola moved to the A10? They're not in the Missouri Valley anymore.
Oh,
and they stink this year.
I knew they were not good. Ooh, Kentucky's got the 6th seed in Albany.
Friend playing well right now.
They'll play Wisconsin or Arizona State.
I win both those games. That's for sure. By the way, if you get the chance, friend of the show, Jacob Bigelow, alerted me to this yesterday. But you know, we have a connection to the Missouri Valley Conference from Creighton being in it for many, many years. I'm going to ask you right now, Josh, who do you think is at the top of the Missouri Valley Conference right now?
Oh, Connor.
Who I would have had no idea until I looked this up yesterday. And then I saw the Missouri Valley standings and I had some takeaways.
Look, I don't want to get dragged or aggregated because I might name a team that is no longer in the Missouri Valley Conference.
You may.
I don't know. You said you were surprised.
I was surprised. It's the team that
Missouri State.
No, Missouri State is 16-14 on the year.
Okay.
At the moment,
But they are in the Valley. I named a Valley team.
They remain in the Missouri Valley.
Okay, I did a lot better there than I thought I was. Thank you, audience.
The leader of the Missouri Valley Conference at the moment, I was shocked to find out, Bradley. Bradley.
The Braves.
Look at Bradley.
Are they still the Braves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bradley. They're 16-4 in the conference, 23-8 overall. They just beat Drake over the weekend in a close game to win their 10th game in a row.
Bad weekend for Jersey.
Many think that Drake is going to win that conference.
Yes, that's what I've seen.
Drake's in second place right now. Other teams that are randomly in the Missouri Valley right now. UIC.
Okay.
That's the University of Illinois at Chicago. Valparaiso.
Valpo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Murray State.
Murray.
And Belmont.
Huh. Well, I'm looking at Bradley's schedule to try and learn more about this team. What's a Stonehill?
They played Stonehill.
Is that
It's like Stonehenge, but hill.
Is that a team that is in the Missouri Valley Conference?
Stonehill does not play in the Missouri Valley.
The Skyhawks.
Also,
this looks like a little Bishop Sycamore vibe here.
This is possibly the best part of the Missouri Valley standings this year. Evansville. Do you remember Evansville?
Oh, yeah.
They had a little run there. Remember Colt Ryan? He was shooting. He was coming around curl screens and just shooting them. They had a little 2-year run. Evansville is 1-19 in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Whoa.
They are 5-26 overall.
Oh. Wow.
They're another candidate for dumpster fire of the week.
What's the worst team in Ken Palm or whatever? I don't know.
Evansville is close.
Yeah.
351 out of 363, I think we have now. But they've beat a few Division I teams this year, including Northern Iowa.
Oh, yeah. We just did this like a week or two ago. LIU Brooklyn is the worst, right?
LIU Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay.
So they will start. Evansville will get Indiana State in their first game at Arch Madness on Thursday. If anybody's curious about the comings and goings of the Missouri Valley right now.
I think everybody in Omaha has a little soft spot for Arch Madness, right?
Oh, I do.
Still?
Did you ever go?
No, never went.
I went their second to last year, and I think they won it. I think they won the last two Arch, or maybe they didn't win it that year. They got to the final and lost. Whatever it was. I was there, went to their Creighton's first game, and won. Those were the days. It's like one big happy family.
Simpler times.
It was simpler times. Now it's all confusing.
Yeah.
We have to deal with Patrick Ewing.
Who's coming? Who's going?
He has to deal with Dan Hurley.
Oh.
Tough hang. Shaka. You got to deal with Shaka.
Oh.
Marquette shenanigans. Those were different times. Those were fun times. Anyway, I don't know why we started down that road, but
I liked it though.
Here we are.
It was weird. It was random. I appreciated it.
Meanwhile, so I think we mentioned yesterday, OPS won't have any teams in the boys state tournament. But let's flip to the other side because we had 6 of the 7 district finals last night in the high school rinks in our state of Nebraska on the boys side. Lincoln Public Schools. Standing ovation to Lincoln Public Schools. They have already punched 3 tickets to the state tournament, and if they get an upset tonight from Lincoln High against Westside, they could punch a 4th. Half the field could be LPS teams. This is previously unheard of. There's been a lot of talk over the last, decade or so about how Omaha has, I guess more than that probably. Omaha has overtaken, I don't know that it was ever really a conversation about who's better than who, but Omaha's developing players, putting players out in the college level at a much, much higher rate. A lot of it is due to their youth systems and the facilities that they have and the investment in basketball in Omaha. And I don't think that's untrue right now. And by the way, Omaha will claim Bellevue West. OPS won't claim it, but Bellevue West is going to win the state championship this year. And they're probably going to, they're going to go undefeated. Well, not probably. If they're going to win the state championship, they are going to go undefeated. And, that's an Omaha area school. So some of the best teams are still in Omaha. But if they did a state tournament where they just give the first one to Bellevue West and then they had a second state tournament where it's the other 7 teams, that would be a fun state tournament.
Infinitely more interesting.
It would be a very fun state tournament at this point. And Elkhorn South is there as well. Millard North has punched their ticket to the state tournament. Westside still could tonight. But how about Lincoln North Star going on the road and beating Gretna? Southeast going on the road and beating Prep. And then 2 Lincoln schools in the A5 final last night. Lincoln East holding off Lincoln Southwest late. It's it's the OPS part of it is really kind of concerning. Now some of it is, Central is not what it used to be. South is definitely not what it used to be. And there's schools that sort of go through these, North hasn't been really a factor in a while. Burke, as we talked about before, has not been a factor in basketball in a while. Brian's maybe coming up, I guess, a little bit. But, I think it does sort of stem back to probably the pandemic.
Oh, we're blaming COVID for killing Omaha basketball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look at what's happening to OPS. Not to get it too politicky here, too much of a, I guess you could listen to that show on Coil if you wanted to. Not to get too public affair-y here, but yeah, OPS is losing a lot of teachers, losing a lot of coaches.
obligatory the other districts had a pandemic too, Connor comment.
Yeah. Well, the other districts maybe handled it a little bit differently. I mean, and on the sports side of things,
stick to sports.
On the sports side of things, they canceled the year a couple years ago. The other districts found a way. That was tough for a lot of OPS kids. So
if I was an elite athlete, yeah, I would go, whoa, that's a scary thing for me, an athlete.
Well,
I will take
not
my
only
services elsewhere.
Not only for kids who are looking to go to OPS schools, but also for kids who are still in high school during this cycle of right after COVID, and they transferred simply because they wanted to play. I would have done the exact same thing.
Oh yeah.
You bet I would have transferred schools because I wanted. In fact, I did. That's exactly what I did. They didn't cancel the sport. They just canceled me. I was like, I want to go. I want to play. I'm not gonna not play high school baseball. I'm gonna go play. And that is definitely a thing. You can talk about staying and being with your friends, and it's just life's not fair, stuff like that. No, kids leave. They go anywhere they want. And I think you're still seeing sort of the effects of that. There's that, and there's a lot of other things going on. In local basketball here. John emails and he says there's no sub districts in Class A. That is correct. Do the 16 teams with the there's
It
not
sounds
what you
really complicated.
there's not what you call sub districts. There are just districts with 4 teams in each district, and it's about probably 85-90% of the time you're going to end up with the top 2 teams in each district as they're seeded in the district final. So that, the sub districts are basically the district first round, where it's the 1 versus the 4s, and then the 3 versus the 2s in the district, and they seed them out that way. John also says, I'm surprised that the NSA hasn't expanded the Class A tournament to 32 teams, so everybody makes it, like in state football, or like in the NCAA tournament in a couple of years.
Yeah. Are we ready for that? I don't think we are.
What did Dickie V say? He wants everybody in. He wants didn't he say one of 200 teams in or something like that?
Put them all in.
Oh, baby. I love the I love basketball guy.
More basketball is always better.
Yeah, but it's actually not. It's actually not all better. We'll come back. We'll talk about Nebraska's big game tonight, where they are, at last check, and I can look one more time here, they are 3.5-point underdogs this evening.
Home doggy.
At Pinnacle. Ooh, 4.5-point underdogs.
Ooh.
According to the FanDuel Sportsbook right now.
FanDuel,
the net rankings, everybody. The disrespect is rampant.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. We'll talk a little bit about their game and more as we come back on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Cubby's.
Ready to revolutionize your home's look? Smash those outdated windows and upgrade with J-Tech Construction, the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. For a limited time, qualified buyers enjoy no payments and 0 interest for a year. Plus, receive a free triple paint upgrade. Trust the best in the business and see why so many homeowners choose us. Contact us now and take the first step toward a stunning home transformation. The official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, your exterior experts.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
It never dawned on me how much walking I used to do until I bought a house in the suburbs. Like when I'd say, I'm going for coffee, of course I was walking, but now it's like 3 miles and no latte's worth that. I find myself inviting people on walks with me like it's a scheduled activity. This morning, my neighbor asked me what I'm doing, and I actually said, I'm going for a walk with Nancy.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Lanahaw Nurseries has been your dependable full-service source for locally grown trees, plants, and landscape materials. Rooted in tradition, our products and services are consistently ranked best of Omaha in quality and value. From design to install, our experts are here to help bring your landscape vision to life. Start your next project this weekend. Visit us at 192nd and Center. Lanahaw Nurseries, your homegrown headquarters since 1974.
Oh yeah, Rob just tweeted this out. So it'll be 10 years next week since Creighton decided it was headed to the Big East and the remember the Catholic 7?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like, is it gonna be the Catholic 7? What a weird time.
I forgot about that.
Yep. And then they joined the Big East. It's like, oh man, they're gonna suck. But then we forgot that they had Doug McDermott.
Yeah, it's a step up. I don't know.
And then after they had Doug McDermott, after they didn't have Doug McDermott anymore, everybody said, oh man, they're gonna suck. It's gonna be really hard for them. And then they did suck. For exactly 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're just talking about the basketball side. Elsewhere for baseball, they've been pretty dominant. With the exception of UConn coming in now. Women's basketball, they've been pretty damn good. Congrats to Flan on 400 last night, with the exception of UConn coming in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a good fit in other places too. 10 years. 10 years. It's been more than 10 years since Nebraska decided to join the Big Ten.
People forget.
They'll have to play Michigan State in basketball. Remember in 2014 when Nebraska went on the road and Teran Petaway made a bunch of crazy threes and Nebraska beat Michigan State? I do. Nebraska is going to attempt a little bit of the same magic tonight, although it will be in the friendly confines of Pinnacle Bank Arena. So let's set the scene here. 8 o'clock tip biggest game in
That was going to be my question to
I
you
don't
today.
know how long.
Yeah.
Seriously, you could probably go way back. I mean, we're probably in the biggest week for Nebraska basketball in quite some time. Just as far as the excitement is concerned, and the energy for the program right now is really, really strong. And then you have that combined with senior night tonight, which I think everybody will want to show up for Derek Walker and Greasel and Bandamel and Tominaga as well. It's probably going to be his last regular season home game. It'll be a really juiced up atmosphere tonight. It'll be full. I think the 8:00 tip actually in this case sort of helps them a little bit. Get a little extra.
Oh, yes.
Nebraska basketball is a younger crowd compared to some of the other Nebraska sports that they have, where normally I would think, yeah, maybe the tip off the earlier the better. For the Nebraska men's basketball crowd, I think they actually appreciate a little bit of a late start.
I want the ushers to be giving breathalyzers at the door, and if anyone is under the legal limit, do not let them in.
Wow, you want it to be a bunch of drunkies.
I do.
Jeez,
I want it to
Josh.
be raucous.
At least tell them they should drink responsibly.
I mean, drink responsibly, maybe sober up in the arena.
Sober up as you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully the game doesn't sober you up itself. Maybe you could use the DoorDash feature available to you in Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Because it is very easy to get a beer in that stadium, as we all know.
4.5-point underdogs tonight against Michigan State. Let me ask you this, Nebraska basketball fans. What are your dreams? Do I sound like a guy who, does this speech all around the country? Hey
Yes.
guys, I love your city, man. Thanks for having me. I wanted to start off with this one simple question. What are your dreams? What do you believe in? What do you want to be? Well, in order to do that, you have to ask yourself something first. Who are you? One of those. But what are your dreams? And more specifically, what are your dreams for the week? Are you dreaming of 2? Are you dreaming of 2 wins this week? Are you allowing yourself to go there? Or is this truly I'm just happy to be on this ride. I want one game at a time. If we can get tonight, great. If not, we'll try and go beat Iowa this weekend. We'll go to the Big Ten tournament and that. Because I'll be honest with you. I do think they probably have to get one this week in order to be a sure bet for the NIT. That line is pretty thin on when are you an NIT team? When are you on the NIT bubble? And then, the jump up from that too is not that far off. I said this yesterday, and I really do believe it. If you can somehow manage going 2-0 this week, you can really start dreaming about Chicago. And what might happen there. Depends on what the draw is, obviously. But if you could pick up 2 wins there and have 19 wins and another probably 2 pretty good wins in the Big Ten tournament, that's meaningful. I still don't know if it gets you to the NCAA tournament. And I think the truth of the matter is, and like I said earlier, this is part of the problem with the net rankings and the way the tournament is decided anyway. I think a lot of that stuff is decided before the conference championship. It's not something that we talk about probably a lot, but a lot of the book has been written on the season before teams go into their conference tournaments. And it's really the things that happen with the lower seeds and bid stealers that sort of change things dramatically that week. But what are your dreams? Is this a game that you could convince yourself that Nebraska can get tonight? And my answer to that is this. I don't know if I can, it's hard for me to really create a path for it. At the same time, Nebraska has surprised me at just about every turn over the last couple of weeks here. So looking at things from a matchup base, basketball perspective, it just doesn't come out making a lot of sense. I know this, Izzo has a lot of respect for Hoiberg. He has a lot of respect for Nebraska. I don't think they'll take it lightly. And you think about what happened with Michigan State on Saturday. I just don't think that's going to be a very happy team coming in here. So I think Nebraska will have Michigan State's attention. So you could already, throw that sort of route at out the window for Nebraska. And the tough part about playing Michigan State is you just have to deal with all those wings and the athletes that they have. Nebraska is not a team that is particularly equipped to defend a team like that. They want to sort of bully you a little bit, and they want to move too. And a lot of the stuff that they do is with their wings and creating shots. Nebraska doesn't really have a lot of guards that are capable of doing that for a long time while giving them something on offense. Remember, they're thin. They lost their two best perimeter defenders in Gary and Bandamel, and I just think that really shows in this game. At the same time, like I said, everything that Nebraska's really done over the last couple of weeks has kind of surprised me. So would I put it past them? No. I think the crowd is going to be a major factor tonight. So when it all adds up, can I get it to a Nebraska win by 1 point?
That's the thing. People forget you only have to win by 1.
You only got to win by 1. Well, unless you're in the net and you have to win by 40 for
That's
it
true.
to, count.
A damn net.
Ken Palm says 68-65 Sparty.
Ooh. That's a cover.
That is a cover. Let's see here. 138.5 is the total for tonight. 138.5. So we're thinking about 72-68, something like that. I think Nebraska can stay in it if they keep it in the high 60s, low 70s. But if Michigan State's dropping 100 in regulation like they did on Saturday against Iowa, it ain't happening. Now they're not going to get into a track meet with them. It just you can't afford to play that way. Where Iowa wants to play that way. I can't do it tonight, Josh.
Okay.
I can't do it. I will be there. I will be in the building.
Ooh.
I will be very excited.
Drunk?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I'm working, Josh.
Oh. Sometimes you go to games as a regular Joe.
Sometimes I do. Well, I'll just be sitting there. I'll be observing everything. I'll be observing the drunkards.
This feels like the first 10 minutes are key game, right?
Yeah, you can't get into too big of a hole, that's for sure.
If you can stay in it, if the energy can maintain through a good chunk of that first half. I can't see a win though.
You could convince me. Somebody make a good case for it.
There's a path.
I can't make a good case.
Like Jack Mitchell could call in and tell me this is how it has to happen for Nebraska to win tonight, and I would go, "Yep, you know what? That could absolutely happen."
Jack is really amazing because while keeping his excitement at a fever pitch, he also still has the patented Jack Mitchell pessimism where he doesn't think anything good is going to happen to him.
He wears those scars, man.
Right. So I'd be curious on his thoughts about tonight. It feels like a very emotional roller coaster Jack Mitchell game, if we're being honest. And he's not allowed to go.
Yeah, absolutely. If you see him lurking around the arena, you call LPD.
All right. I think Nebraska loses tonight, 74-68.
I will go 64-60 Michigan State.
That's a rock fight.
Yeah.
That's a grinder. I could see Nebraska winning that type of game. Michigan State's got to get cold. You know what Nebraska's going to do? They're going to double the post. They're going to let them shoot their threes. If Michigan State's hot, it's over. All right. We will come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
They were eating poop left and right. They did. Do you guys not remember this?
They're eating poop?
Eagles fan eats horse poop. February 6th, 2018.
That was one person.
It's a new thing, probably.
Cowboy fan derangement syndrome.
No.
Come back in full force.
No.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly cloudy skies and mild temperatures, tracking a high temperature of 45 degrees. There's a small chance of a passing shower or two before 5 o'clock. For tonight, clearing skies with temperatures cooling into the upper 20s, tracking a morning low of 27 degrees. Milder for your Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, high temperature of 47. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. You can find your best golf swing today by giving them a call at 402-498-0220. They are changing the way that they teach golf, and you will be better because of it. Group lessons now going on at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. That phone number, give them a call, 402-498-0220. You will get better at golf and enjoy it more than you ever have before. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
I'm Ed Leach. Over the weekend, we kicked off our 2023 RV season with the annual sports show. But if you missed it, don't worry. It's not too late to get show deals and more at Leach Camper Sales in Council Bluffs. Dino has deals.
You said it, Chief. Show deals are extended, plus we're launching a blowout sale on all select 2022 models, and you won't make a payment for a year. You heard that right. No payments for a year with approved credit. Preview our inventory at leachcamper.com, then come on over. We have brand new 2023 models too. Some with this payments as low as $150 a month with your approved credit. And we're stocked with award-winning brands.
What better time to buy and what better offer? Blowout deals and no payments for a year. If you've never been here, we're easy to find. We're your Heartland dealer, and we're right next to Lake Manawa in Council Bluffs. Or visit leachcamper.com.
Leach Camper Sales, home of the original Happy Camper.
And don't forget, the coffee's always on.
Omaha Maverick women's basketball is a 6th seed in the Summit League tournament and set to take on 3rd seed North Dakota Sunday. Tip-off is set for 2:45. Hear all of the Omaha Women's Summit League tournament action against North Dakota Sunday on News Talk 1290.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
All right, quickly. The Big Ten put out their women's basketball all-conference teams today. I'm going to climb up on the horse real quick here. So there were 10 women who were named first team all-conference. And then there were 11 that were named second team all-conference. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. There's only 5 people on the basketball court for each team at once, right?
True. A lot of rosters have 12 people on them.
So maybe you're trying to create 2 teams that play each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first team. And then the second team, it's 2 more teams that play each other in a game.
With some subs. I don't know.
So that's 21 people were honored on the first 2 teams of this, and then the honor roll thing, and the conferences don't do their preseason selections. They just like in Big Ten baseball, they just like they come up with 5 of them. They don't pick an order. What happened? I want to know.
Everybody gets a trophy, Connor.
It's important. So the preseason ones are one thing because it's important, in my opinion, to know where you're picked. To where Shaka Smart can say, we were picked 9th in the league. Nobody believed in us.
Yep.
They thought we would suck. And we're gonna stick it to them all year long. This is what we're gonna do. In the Big Ten Conference, all they could say is, well, they didn't pick us in the top 5. Oh, we were pretty high on you. We had you at number 6. Well, nobody saw that. And then in the all-conference thing, 21 players in the first 2 teams. It's not a team. That's a classroom. It's a boatload. Like this is not a team. It's including more people, though, Josh. You are right about that. It's definitely including more people.
A lot of participation trophies handed out by the Big Ten today.
Participation conference, I guess. The Big Ten does that. I'm sure there's other conferences who do it that way too, but it's just very weird. Now, when they did the All Big Ten defensive team, they only had 6 on each. That's a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah, it feels like a good number.
And when they do the football teams, they have first, second, and third team, and they sometimes have multiple at each position on one team. And because the way that football works, like I actually kind of understand the excuse in football. For basketball, there's 5 spots on the court. Give me the best 5 players that there are.
Positionless basketball.
Yes, if it's 5, if your best 5 players in your conference are 5 guards, then you're rolling out a 5-guard lineup. Like they're not actually playing a basketball game against each other. You don't have to pit them against another conference. Just say you're one of the best 5 people in the conference. Not one of the best 10. 10's not a number that does anything in basketball.
Yeah, what if you were just on the tail end of making the second team? You're like, am I the 40th best player in this conference?
Right. First team all conference. Jazz Shelley was named first team all conference by the coaches.
Congrats.
In the Big Ten. And
smart coaches. I've always said that.
Alexis Markowski was second team all conference by the coaches as well. Jazz and Alexis were second team as selected by the media.
Typical media.
Caitlin Clark, I guess, one player of the year. Caitlin Clark. So then they had 10 people on this first team, and then 4 of them were unanimous selections.
Caitlin Clark,
Monica Sonano, Mackenzie Holmes, and Makira Cook. They were all unanimous selections. They could have just made that the team plus 1 more, and then you have a team. There's your all Big Ten team. But no, we had to make it 12, 15, 20. Why not make it 30 all Big Ten selections next year? Why not?
Oh,
could be fun.
Don't tempt them.
I guess this is what happens when you don't have a commissioner. And we're talking about the Pac-12 dying and Oregon and Washington potentially joining the conference. How are they going to do that? They don't have a commissioner.
It's snowing in Pasadena. Up is down.
We're sitting here begging for a schedule for the 2024 season. How the hell are you going to do that? We can't get these presidents to do anything. And every once in a while, Scott Docterman will pop in and he'll hang out with Gary Barta for a few minutes, and Gary Barta will tell him what's the latest. We're not in really any rush. We still got we still got 2 years of this schedule. Doesn't matter. You told us it was coming soon, and now we expect it. And then you lost your commissioner, and now nothing happens in the Big Ten. And we got 14 people on all Big Ten teams, and there's no schedule for 2024. Sick. Disgusting.
The inmates are running the asylum.
I need to know who Nebraska is playing in their third pod game.
Hell yeah.
Because I know they're playing Iowa and Minnesota. I want to know who the third pod game is. Is it Wisconsin? Is it UCLA? I want to know now.
Who do I need to start hating?
Gary Barta. I think it starts with Gary. Iowa's athletic director.
Gary.
Write it down. He was on the committee last year.
Fix it. Fix it now.
Or just all the presidents together, I suppose, because they're the collective commissioner at the moment. All right. Don't ever say that Kevin Commissioner Kev didn't do anything for you. He at least moved the process along a little bit. Let's get chop.
K-Dub got you what you needed.
That's right. He got you the cash, he got you the TV, and then he got out. I got no problem with Kev. Kev's all good in my book.
Mm-hmm.
He can go do something crazy to the Bears now.
That's my guy.
All right, we'll come back. Poll questions, stay with Watch next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Take your basketball game to a whole nother level with Omaha Sports Academy. Tryouts are right around the corner for youth boys and girls, February 27th and March 1st. For high school girls, March 5th. For high school boys, March 12th. You can be part of a program that will take your game to a whole nother level. You can practice and play in top-notch facilities with OSA-trained coaches under the oversight of a full-time professional coaching staff that's got a lengthy resume of success. It's the only program in Nebraska on the Adidas Gold Circuit. So ensure your opportunities to college coaches regionally and nationally and be your best. Learn teamwork, responsibility, and much more with Omaha Sports Academy.
Morning, Mama. How you feeling?
Great, and I'm ready for you today.
I'm checking in on you. Morning meditation?
Check.
Dressed and ready to work out?
Check.
Check your blood pressure yet?
And check.
Boom! Great job, Mom. And about those gold earrings?
No, ma'am.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Monitor your blood pressure daily and help each other stay motivated. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Howdy, folks. Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Zzz, blip. Did you know there's some fun open water fishing to be had this time of year? There is. In our cold water, northern and western Nebraska trout streams, wonderful spring-fed waters, support mainly rainbow and brown trout, and you could even work on your Trout Slam Challenge in those. Get more details at outdoornebraska.org. That's outdoornebraska.org. Turning to the state parks, there's nature to experience. The playgrounds, campgrounds, and trails are all open, and be sure to check out the naturalist programs at state parks as well. For spring wild turkey hunting this year here in Nebraska, hunters, take note, there are some major changes because of lower bird numbers. See us at the Game and Parks Commission for more information. That'll wrap it up for now. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
Lulabee's Breakfast, Brunch, and Bar is downtown Omaha's go-to spot for quality food with a Mexican flair. Lulabee's has everything from French toast and omelets to shrimp tacos and burgers. There's even a full bar with uniquely inspired cocktails. Want to have a party? Lulabee's has a fun and festively decorated party room that seats up to 65 of your favorite people with custom catering available. Booked for parties, family events, celebrations, or just brunch with all your friends. Lulabee's, 9th and Dodge, or at lulabeesomaha.com.
All right, final couple minutes here. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you.
Big show tomorrow. Big show tomorrow.
What's so big about it?
We got a Major League Baseballer.
It's true. A world champion.
That's right.
A former Husker.
Yeah.
Former West Side Warrior. Jake Myers will join the show at 11:30. So we'll talk to him tomorrow. Look forward to that chat. Poll questions today. A bunch from the crossover again. Did you know Dundee was bombed during World War II? To which Sipple replied, "Whoa." I guess my answer is no, because I thought it was just a bomb shelter.
You called me a liar.
I did. I apologize. So I'll answer truthfully.
It's okay.
74% also say no.
I'm happy I could educate the audience.
Is there always one cow trying to organize an escape from the slaughterhouse? I don't think so.
I mean, probably not.
I think they know and they just willingly go.
Yeah, just whatever.
I've lived long enough. 79% say yes.
Ooh.
Do you envision the havoc you could wreak on other drivers when out on the roads?
That was the softest I could phrase that.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, I do. How about this, Josh? 66% say yes.
2/3 of the audience dreams of killing other motorists.
No killing was involved. I never said anybody had to die. No, I just think, hey, if I did this, it would cause quite the scene. Can you ever really fix the potholes? Now, Amazing Daniel brought up some points where the stuff that they actually put in to fix the potholes could be a lot better quality. And that's true. But my point was more of there's just always another pothole. I envision it like the scene in Vegas Vacation in the Hoover Dam, where Clark's putting the gum in the wall and then another one pops up. Like there's just going to be another pothole. And there's no way you can get to all of them. So my answer is no, but I understand.
Okay.
77% say no. If Dan Snyder invited you to go to a yacht party off the coast of South France, would you go? I think it's actually a really tough question.
Yeah.
My answer is yes, because I've never been to a yacht party before.
Ravi is worried we were targeting him with that question. We were not.
It's bouginess combined with horrible people.
Yeah.
Ravi has extreme reactions to both. My answer is yes. I'm in the minority, though. 55% say no, they would not go to the yacht party. Did you watch your fair share of Peter Siegel movies in college? It has come to my attention that I thought I was saying Steven Seagal. I watched a lot of Steven Seagal movies in college.
An amazing accident by you.
But I also watched a lot of Peter Siegel movies upon further review.
You did. He directed the Get Smart reboot, The Longest Yard, 51st Dates, Anger Management, and Tommy Boy.
64% though say no. They probably don't know what we're talking about.
No, not a clue.
Is Talia Shire a tough hang?
100% yes.
Yeah, 77% say yes. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching?
Oh, great question. I put that away.
Oh, we didn't. We also didn't do the odd news today.
We didn't. It's okay. It'll keep.
Good.
It'll keep. We were watching college basketball tonight. Michigan State at Nebraska, 8:00. BTN. Be there and be drunk.
Josh, once again, here for drinking.
Responsibly. Iowa at Indiana, 6:00 on ESPN2. Texas Tech at number 3, Kansas, 8:00 ESPN. Arkansas at number 12, Tennessee, 8 p.m. ESPN2. NBA Lakers at the Grizzlies, 6:30 on TNT. No LeBron, he'll be out for several weeks. Sad. Wolves at Clippers, 9:00 on TNT. Hulu has the NHL, the Avalanche at the Sabres. And it's kind of a lean night on TV. The season 2 finale of La Brea, which is apparently a television show that is on the NBC network.
Okay.
8:00. When Gavin's life is in peril, Eve makes a desperate bid to set things right. Veronica reveals a secret that puts things with Lucas in jeopardy.
Oh, man.
Sounds like a good one. And Peacock has something that I don't know what it is. The Traitors Reunion Special. People love a reunion special. People love things on streaming shows that they would not watch if it was on regular TV. And people love Bravo's Andy Cohen. He reunites the season 1 cast of the Peacock phenomenon. Connor, it's been called a phenomenon by people. It has already been renewed for season 2. I don't know what any of that means.
A phenomenon.
Yeah.
Very odd.
There it is. You can watch it.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. And that is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
Live